Good evening. Good evening. Welcome along. I hope everyone is doing very, very fine on this Wednesday. How is everyone's week so far? So first, a hello to those who've come over from the premiere. I hope you enjoyed the episode. As Johnny has mentioned in chat over on Twitch, it is nice to see Paul McGrath's feature on the cover of the fake Panini sticker book. I mean, like, I had to mention some more of the famous players. The Lothar Matthäus is the Gabriel Batistuta. But the Villa fan in me just needed to sneak God in there somewhere. Just, hiding in the background. Hiding / peeking over the whole thing, being the largest thing. Nice and subtle, right? Nice and subtle. But yeah, how is everyone going? How are people feeling about their transfer window now that it's closed? Are you happy with the business? Been speaking to Levi. They signed Tyrell Malacia on loan in the last minute. Hopefully a chance for him to get his career back in track and maybe show a little bit of the excitement that came with him when he was signed originally. I do see that apart from the aforementioned, we do have a little bit of Live to Prof in. Welcome in, Live to Prof. How are you tonight? I hope you're doing well. We have some DM bassist and some Coritiba as well. Lovely to see you. We see Lumi as well. Welcome in, Lumi. I hope you're doing well. Quadmo is here. Zenergy is here. Bido, fellow FMers. B-Day indeed. Mr. Grizzly P's in. Welcome in, Mr. Grizzly P. And 4N71574R. Hello. How are you? I hope you're doing well. So DM Basis says we didn't really do anything other than lose Zach Lovelace to Millwall and homesickness. Fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, I don't want to start the stream on a negative note, but you're already out of title contention, right? So there's no point in maybe overspending in this window, chasing something that's probably going to be a little bit too far beyond. Maybe just cut out a couple of those that maybe don't need to stick around, and hopefully that means you're going to be preparing yourself for the summer window. Night of Knee's in. Knee. Welcome in, Night of Knee. I hope you're doing well. Just home from work. Fabulous timing. So Mr. Grizzly P says the streak of Spurs signing players I signed in FM continues. Matches tell eventually. I mean, they say that he had a conversation with Ange, and that was what made him change his mind and eventually move to White Hart Lane, or what was once White Hart Lane. So it's interesting to see. I believe that possibly he watched the Man United game at the weekend and went, "Fuck that! I can't be dealing with that. I can't be dealing with that at all." So Lumi says Chelsea did everything except what was important. What did you feel would have been important for you, Lumi? You've managed to get a lot of players off the books. I mean, you still have a squad of like 712, so I mean, it's only a small dent. But who would you have liked to have seen maybe come in potentially? So Night of Knee's happy that Sporting kept its main pieces. So yeah, that's good to hear. DM Basis says that we're spot on. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to. It's always bad to give up on a season only halfway through, but maybe that's the plan. Let's hope it was. So Lumi says Tell was linked with Chelsea. I mean, Tell was linked with basically everyone, wasn't he? Now I hope that Tell does well. I think he's an exciting young player. I do kind of see him a little bit like a Nicholas Jackson or a Charles Nkunku, in so much as he's not necessarily going to be that prolific piece you need. So we'll see. Lumi would have liked a striker or a goalkeeper. You've got 7 of... What happened to Petrovic? Why did Petrovic play really well last season and then get loaned out? I still don't understand that. That still baffles me entirely. Anyway, let's head on over. We're going to play a little mini game because Coritiba has redeemed one. So we'll do that to start off the stream. Then we'll get you up to date with what's been happening in Germany with Darmstadt as we enter our first full season with them. Also, by the way, Darny Boy 5, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. If you're comfortable chatting, let us know who you support, where you're from, who you're playing with in FM. But there is zero obligation whatsoever to do it. In the meantime, I will explain how Guess the Player works for anyone that's not familiar with this. You're going to see 4 pictures, one after another, from a player's profile in FM24. You're going to see their positions, you're going to see their attributes, you're going to see their scout report, and then you'll see their career history. Your job is quite simple. Guess the player. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. And those points get you onto that lovely little scoreboard that's currently beneath me. So yeah, there is one thing I always forget to mention. it is based on the default database in FM24 at the start of the game. So if you've got a player like Manuel Ugarte, who moved over the summer, he will still be at his original club, not Man United when we do this. Just something to be aware of. So let's head on into the first clue and see who on earth we might possibly have here. We have a left-footed attacking midfielder. Can play up front, can play as deep as defensive midfield, quite flexible. So get those guesses in. So Mr. Grizzly P says the streak started with Modric and Van der Vaart back in FM05.
It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, Zenergy, you absolute gent. Continuing your sub from Prime gift to Tier 1, you absolute star. Very, very much appreciated. So, there we go. Lukmar's in as well. Welcome in, Lukmar. Lovely to see you, my dude. Lumi asked the same question. As a Villa fan, I'm delighted with the transfer window. We've got short-term solutions so that we can hopefully put ourselves in a good position come summer. And once we've got a couple of players back to know exactly what we're doing. So we've got some guesses coming in. Coritiba's gone for Giovanni Lo Celso, which is a fine guess. It's not, I'm afraid, though. Lukmar No Pants has gone for Laffy. Enzo Laffy, a man reborn now that he's back under Regis Lebris at Sunderland. Or at least that's the hope, isn't it? It's unfortunately not Laffy, I'm afraid. Coritiba's suggested Isco, another fine guess. It's not that either. It's that left-footedness, isn't it? It's kind of, I think it's the left-footedness that might be putting people off a little bit. So Danny Boy says, coming from the YouTube channel, love your stuff. You're Dutch and support both Ajax and Almere City. Ah, fantastic. How do you feel about, obviously Almere are up in the Eredivisie now this season, aren't they? Do you think it's going to last? Do you think this is more going to be about experience and then perhaps back down and fight to come back up again? So could it be Paul Warner or Noni Madueke? Or Krashmir Balakov. Krashmir Balakov's a great guess. So Arda Gula, Stephen Berghuis, very, very, very good guesses. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. So let's move on to the next clue. See if that helps us at all. I'm not sure if it does. I mean, it might not. What we can see from this player is they've got elite vision, elite flair, elite passing, elite technique. They like killer balls. They like to curl the ball. They like using the outside of their foot. And that's probably a fair description of basically any like playmakery type attacking midfielder that's ever been there. I mean, you can see why he's a central base player because his acceleration and pace is a little bit on the low side. But otherwise, looks a cracking player. I'm surprised that he was ranked as an attacking midfielder above advanced playmaker in terms of the roles. So we've got some guesses now coming in. We've got Danny Olmo. Fabulous guess. We've got James Rodriguez. DM Basis naturally going for Nicholas Raskin. I love the consistency. We've got Koku. We've got De Bruyne. We've got Kulusevski. Some very, very fine guesses in there. I will just remind you, this guy is left-footed, so that does exclude De Bruyne. I'm not sure on the footedness of Koku. Kulusevski's a good guess there. James Rodriguez is a good guess as well. Unfortunately, it isn't either of those. Is it Javier Simmons? It's not Javier Simmons, I'm afraid. Yeah, no. So this is an interesting player. Let's move on to the next one and see whether that helps us. Maybe finding out the league will kind of guide us in the right direction. Maybe some information there about their age. We'll find out. So Lukma asks, have we had this player before? We definitely haven't had this player before. I do worry that I will end up repeating a player sometimes, but I am confident on this one. So Red Up is in. Welcome in, Red Up. How are you doing? How are you doing, sir? So DM Basis has gone for Malik Tillman. Lumi's gone for Pedri. Zerachul's gone for Florian Wirtz. All fabulous guesses. Adam is in. Welcome in, Adam. How are you doing, my dude? Could it be Vincenzo Grifo or Julian Brandt? Maybe Jonas Hoffman. It's none of those either, unfortunately. Is it Mahmoud Dahoud? Which is a very, very satisfying name to say. I mean, if you're at home right now, and maybe if there's no one else around, because it'd be a bit weird, just try it. Just say Mahmoud Dahoud. Very, very enjoyable to say. It isn't, unfortunately, any of those, though. So Danny Boyce's last season was phenomenal. Stayed up first ever season. This season, however, we're last and doomed for relegation. 7 points separating us. Ajax, though, I'm excited about them. hopefully Ajax are getting themselves back on top. We can only hope. So Cronmo fan, with his energy even, I apologise, has gone for Schaffer. Coritiba's gone for Kramaric. Lumi's also come in with Julian Brandt. Sadly, it's none of those. Let's pop on to the last clue. Let's not pop on to the last clue. Because Jabbert, beating by mere seconds Mr. Grizzly P. Mr. Grizzly P? That's a new name now. Grizzly P even. Has gone for Lovro Meyer. It is indeed Lovro Meyer, the Wolfsburg man, a one-time champs legend, well, football manager legend. I mean, he's still a very, very good player now, let's be fair. So Welsh Smithy had gone for Wu Yong. We had Sung Lee as well, cooking at mine. Some absolutely fantastic guesses. Undav was a really interesting guess as well. But it's that man there. It's Jabbert's 1993. Fabulous work. Look at that applause coming through from Johnny Trotter, from Zerachal, from Levi, from DM Basis, from Mr. Grizzly P, from 4N71574R, from Red App again, from Coritiba, from Adam. Oh, Lumi's just writing the words clapping emoji over on Twitter, on YouTube. He wants you to know that he's applauding. That is well deserved. Fabulous work, sir. Fine, let's head in, and we might as well get you guys up to speed with where we've been at. So we played the first 4 games of the season on stream on Monday evening, and it's a bit of a mixed bag. We started with a disappointing defeat, 3-2 against Holston Kiel, a game that I would very diplomatically describe as absolute bullshit. We played really, really well, or I thought we played really well. Chance after chance after chance, and then Holston Kiel would get a highlight and they'd score. And then Holston Kiel would get a highlight and it'd be a penalty, which was saved, to be fair. And then we'd equalise, then Holston Kiel would get a highlight and they'll score, we'll equalise, and then immediately Holston Kiel scored. Like, sure, they had more XG than us. Sure, they scored the goals and that's on us for not finishing the moves, but I'm still calling bullshit on it. I am still calling bullshit on it. It's not necessarily the greatest of starts, and then we had a home game against Mainz, one of the teams expected to fight for promotion this season. And again, I thought we played pretty well. We dominated the ball, we created chances, we just couldn't finish off our dinner. And so it was a 0-0 draw, which wasn't the most enjoyable situation. But in a cup game against non-league Rheinfeld got us onto winning ways, and then we played Sandhausen, who we managed to beat 1-0. Maybe not as convincing a result as I'd like, but it's about building up that momentum. And then we finished the stream with a 2-0 win over Darmstadt. It took 2 goals in the second half, literally within minutes of one another. But again, we're playing really, really well. So we're playing well enough that we're creating chances, and we should feel confident that we were going to win going forwards from there. But when we're doing well, what you don't want to do is then change things unnecessarily. So we might be changing things unnecessarily. Now, it's not unnecessary. I will explain in a moment. Let me just catch up. Zen has said, look, if it's easier, please feel free to call you Zen. So I shall. Thank you very much, Zen. Sebastian over on YouTube says it's insane how silent SI still is. I mean, I can't say I necessarily... I am certainly... It is disappointing that we haven't heard anything. I'm guessing that there is a reason behind the silence, and the relative lack of leaks suggests that it's been very, very directed. It's very much, hey guys, we will say nothing until we've got something to say. Generally speaking, that means there's a reason for it, even if I'm not necessarily sure what that reason is. So we'll find out eventually, one of these days, maybe. Who knows? That neutral normie said it was the most scripted game of all time. It felt like it. It really did feel like it. Oh, Raphael Silver's in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you? I'm very good. This is the same save as IFK. So in January 2028, like 9 months ago in game, we were offered the Darmstadt job. So we've now moved, and this is our first full season in Germany, just starting up now. So hopefully we've got some exciting things ahead. Oh, Wigo 15's in. Best wishes from Lithuania. Good evening. Welcome in from Lithuania. I hope you're doing well. Who do you support, Wigo? Have you heard that there are rumours? And I don't pay much attention to rumours because rumours, probably only like a 25% chance that it's true or not, but rumours that Lithuania is going to be in the game whenever FM25 does happen. So Welsh Smithy says, if it's working, change it so not even Pep can figure you out. Exactly. Now, realistically, this is kind of the same tactic that we're using in terms of instructions. So we are still using the exact same in possession, transition, out of possession instructions. It's just a change of formation. And specifically, I want us to have a 2-striker variant of what we're doing, so that when we want to push 2 up top, that we can. And our next opponents, Hansa Rostock, I believe, play a 4-4-2. And so this is a really, really good game to try out our 3-5-2, because we have numerical advantage against their 2 strikers. We have numerical advantage against their 2 central midfielders. And we then match up against their 2 centre-backs. So it's a really... 5-3-2 against a 4-4-2 is a really, really nice match. In terms of the actual tactic itself, it's the one we used for the Roma. In terms of the actual roles and duties, it's the setup that I used for Roma in the Moneyball Clinic a couple of weeks ago. So the roaming playmaker who kind of pushes forwards, does his bit, goes around wherever he wants. The Carolero who kind of ends up dropping underneath and supporting. Now, for Patreons, we dissected a game in the Club World Cup so that we could make some tweaks based on what we actually saw in the game, rather than just instant resulting through everything. And so we have a false 9 that stays wider. Oh, bless you, Adam. Thank you very much. We've got a false 9 who stays wider to provide support to the wing-back on the left. The poacher was originally on the right, but we put them central so that they stay central. There's really trying to keep them within the width of the box. And we've got our central midfielders here who've been asked to mark tighter. So we did notice that we did have a little bit of an issue with picking up central midfielders of the opposition, especially in the half spaces in our defensive third. So we're going to hopefully see that this will help our midfielders pick them up. So that's what we're going for. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And we will head straight into the game. I say straight into the game. I've been blathering on for like 20 minutes. So, as direct as I possibly can. I think that's everything. Oh, do I want... Oh, what's going on there? I want that there. And that there. Launch further. Sims is still like a week away from coming back as well. So yeah, let's give it a go. See how it works out. Maybe. It'll be okay. Now, it did just say that Tim Muller's starting rather than... I meant to put Nürnberger in the starting lineup. There's a mistake already, which bodes well. So Neutral Norm says the opposition can't predict what you're going to do if you don't even know what you're doing. Exactly. Beautiful plan. So we go. I know. I was part to make that happen. Involved to make Latvia happen in the game as well. Interesting. Awesome. So you're part of the research team. Marvellous. Zen says that current Pep couldn't figure out an under-15s team. I mean, I think that if he was up against... I reckon he'd do better with the Man City under-15s team than he would with their senior squad at the moment. Maybe that's being a little unfair, but there seems to be... Need a little bit more pep, ironically. So Rafael Silva's going to watch the Coppa Italia. It's Roma versus Milan. Oh, that should be interesting. And talking of Italy... Mr. Grizzly P says it's a proper Italian 3-5-2. It is. So Lumi wants me to try direct passing. Works well in the Zweite Bundesliga. We're still sticking to the same tactical identity that we're having throughout. So we're going to still be doing short passing, generally at a slightly higher tempo. We do want to be possession based. So although we change formation, we do very much stick to the same philosophy throughout. Danny Boy's a fan of Guy. Love the lad. He was available on a free transfer, so he hasn't played much for Ajax in this save. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. He's picked up like 1 assist, I think, so far this season. But otherwise, good save from Sauter. Not had a big impact in the first 4 games yet, so maybe we'll see how things go. So Hungdamin says no more 3-4-3. Huh? No, so Hungdamin, as I explained, we have the 3-4-3. I want us to develop a 3-5-2 as an alternative, and a game against a team playing a 4-4-2. It matches up specifically well against. So, I mean, I say that it's kind of middle of the road so far. We haven't really created much. They haven't really created much. So we'll see there. So especially the Carolero Mazzala midfield, that's a strong Italian flavour. It's all about making sure, because we play narrow, it's about kind of encouraging them not to be too narrow. Really nice support out in the wide areas. But it's based, so the Roma one is based on the Javier Garcia Pimienta tactic that Las Palmas used last year. So weirdly, it's an Italian feel, but with a midfield from Spain. I do quite like the movements we get, but we'll see how it works at the Zweite Bundesliga level. Might not be right. Might be fine though. Might be fine. The team will love the goals we drop to be part of the wave. Darmstadt winning under Mikel Artalo. That's what we have a false 9 in there to do, to win headers at the far post. That's all part of the plan. Definitely all part of the plan. I mean, if it works, it works. There's Guy popping up with the assist. Perfect timing. Perfect timing indeed. So Hung Min says we need more Italian flavour though. A trequartista is needed. Maybe we haven't. The trequartista hasn't worked particularly well with these sets of team instructions previously, but that was in Finland, so who knows. So what a rubbish game so far, I think would be the politest way of putting it. 6 shots, 2 on target, combined XG of 0.33 between the teams, but I'm quite happy with that. This is a team that currently in 4th in the league and we're away from home. Now, we do have Guido on a yellow card. So what we can do, if we want to be a little bit more secure, is not Gimba, but bring on Froeder. Have him as an anchor, and then have the central midfielder as the roaming playmaker. It's going to be on the same side as the false 9, so they might get in each other's way a little bit, but we'll see how that goes. And we will ask them to probably take a few more chances now in the opposition half. We've had 58% ball share, so maybe we can start trying to be a little bit more expressive. See how that goes. So we need some Capocannoniere and some Catenaccio as well. All the Italian words. Add in a Regista and you've got the Holy Trinity. Exactly. So Adam asks, I've learnt a little bit lately, feel I'm losing my mind. How long has it been a back three? So this season alone, looking at the players that we were able to get in, we were able to pick up quite a lot of centre backs that I think are going to really help us. Tubeck is this really promising young new gen. Here's Lenz looking to make it 1-1. Gaston Avia is a great signing. We've got Buchmann. We've obviously also still got Benedict Gimba, and we brought in Yannick Mousehound on loan as well. So I think it should give us a nice defensive base to work on. We did find that when we played with the 4-2-3-1 that the midfielders kind of we had a better profile of like ball winnery type midfielders. I think this allows us to use our wing backs to stay wide and then advanced players kind of to cut inside, or in the case of the two-man strike force, for us to have someone coming from midfield and attacking. As Mbamba looks to make it 2-0. It's a good save by Reese. That's a shame. You thought you were going insane. You're not. You'll be pleased to know you're not going insane. So Hung Min's bringing back the game from the other night by going SSNyon. Yeah, I sound like I've broken. But yes, what a player. What a player. Here's Flu, shoots from distance. I think we can make some changes here. Gonna go with one that we were going to start the game with, but I made a little bit of a boo-boo. Bring on Nürnberger. Gonna take that off. Instead, we're gonna take play out defense off. Let's see if that just helps us maybe move things into the final third a little bit more keenly, I think will be the polite way of putting it. We are currently on a balanced mentality as well, so we might look to push that up, see if we can get that second goal. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Now we've got 3 stoppages left, so we're going to bring on Vata to play up front. He's more of a pacey guy in behind, and then we'll go to positive. Hope to try and get a second goal in the next 10 minutes. If not, we then make our last set of substitutions with 10 minutes left. We go back and we look to contain. So they've had a lot of shots, but very, very poor quality. We've had very few shots, equally of poor quality. Right, back down to balance, drop that back down there. Time wasting up, and the last changes are, it's going to be Oliver Cooper coming off for Benedict Gimber. He's going to play as the Cavallero now. And who else is looking tired? Guy is looking tired, so on comes Rashidi. Don't need to say anything there, all in a good mood, so we'll see how they go there. Mr. Grizzly P saying a poacher up top is giving a Paolo Rossi, Pipo Inzaghi vine. Absolutely. I do love a poacher, I must be honest. So Trek and False 9 are basically the same thing anyway. Ooh, SO with a chance there. What I love about the False 9 is they play very much like a trequartista without the team forcing the ball to them, which is lovely. So what have Darmstadt won in their entire history? Rafael Silva? Bugger all. So they've won the Zweite Bundesliga, I think, once or twice before. They don't have any history of winning anything major in Germany. So it will be nice to see if we can get them up into the Bundesliga and maybe see if we can get a little bit of success their way. But who knows what the save has in store, as Kinzombie forces a good save out of Sauter. Come on, guys, let's focus. Last 5 minutes, can we hang on? It's a senyon, that's easy for you to say. Exactly. So speaking of trequartistas, I give you Bajiovinco. Beautiful. That is marvellous. Essa is the word, this on Portuguese. Okay, so Essa means this. That's fair enough. Who is our best player? This is. Ingelsson can't get there, and Bamba heads it clear. It's going to be a throw into Hansa Rostock. 2 minutes left, and it's going to be another highlight. He's going long as Ingelsson, winding up to not throw it long. It was a bait, and then Bamba steps in. Gets the ball clear. That is surely offside. But the flag hasn't gone up. That means we get the possession. That's fine. Just simple, calm, sensible. Don't do anything crazy. Like, I know you're sweeper keeper on support, but maybe don't come up that high, please. Surely this is just playing out for the win now. We're not going to have any last second drama. It's going to be nice and calm and relaxed, and the perfect way to start, I hope. Maradona Denani. Yeah, we got that. So, Sebastian asked, do I ever like to use the 2D camera? No. Generally speaking, I don't. I can see enough from the various 3D angles, and I find it's much more useful. I find it much easier to interpret where players' bodies are facing, and all those kind of areas that we can see those moments. You can see that on the 2D, but I find it a lot less clear. We got a win. We start off with a win, which I think means a little bit of this.
Going, Aratalo's growing, Nick has got us going Darmstadt scoring, Aratalo's glory, watching all the players, taking you to places that we never been before. They now Darmstadt scoring to that Aratalo beat. Darmstadt scoring to that Aratalo beat.
Boom. There we go. That takes us up to second, although we have played a game more than Hamburg, who we are level on points with. That looks like it was going to skip to the next day, so let's just click the browse so we can get in and let these guys get their rest at the right timetable. So our next game is a home game against Saarbrücken. That feels like a much better game for us. Finally, a team that we should be expected to beat. It looks like they're going to be playing a 3-5-2 as well. So matching up against them isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. Zala Central. It's going to be difficult to get inroads in central areas, I think. We've got 3 defenders and an anchor. So this would be the kind of game where we then look to go back to one of these, because then we've got the options to overload the wide areas where they've got just one player. We're kind of neglecting this area here where they're quite strong. So I feel like we could be okay. Actually, we look at our very standard one. That just makes sure that everything is selected correctly. Then I would look at having the overlap on for the next game, potentially. So that's what I'm thinking. Obviously, there's a week. We'll probably get loads of injuries in the time, so who knows. So Zen loves the harmony line. It's all about putting on enough layers to hide just how awfully off key everything is. S Club 7, it is Adam, just for you, sir. Wigo says, Musterman, can you make a video which you explain more in detail your skin and exactly why you chose those exact attributes and stuff like that? More like diving deep. I think lots of people would start playing attributeless. So there is an FAQ every single place that the skin is downloadable from. It's not a video's worth of information to go into. Attributes are organized by the training group because then you can kind of see the interconnectivity of it. In terms of the metrics used for the pizza charts, it's based off the pizza charts by Smarter Scout. There's a full article there, massive article with a lot of detail. The archetypes are based on the Smarter Scout archetypes as well. Just really, very simple things in those regards. So I've always been keen when possible to not make fluff if I can avoid it. I mean, I make dumb shit. Don't get me wrong. A lot of my videos are very dumb. But yeah, like I don't think all I'd essentially be doing is reading, and I don't think it would necessarily add anything much to the conversation. But do let me know if you are having trouble with those links. I mean, the explanations are there, but if you do need some clarification on those specific issues, by all means, give us a shout. You can drop into the Discord as well, where I can answer questions. You can DM me on the SI forums and so on. Thank you very much, Johnny, for the link as well. You're an absolute gentleman. Okay, so was Hamburg promoted once in this save? Yes, the Hamburg have just been relegated now. So this is the 6th season. Hamburg were in the Bundesliga last season. They got relegated back down here. So we do expect them to be one of the main contenders to go straight back up. But we'll see. Holofab's in. Welcome in, Holofab. How are you doing, sir? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, lovely to see you, my dude. How's your week been so far? We go, thank you. No worries at all. As I say, any questions, give us a shout on one of the many avenues. And when I'm not streaming and I'm not napping, I will answer. I mean, that does narrow it down, to be fair. I do nap a lot. So Johnny's playing that way at the moment, enjoying the attributeless challenge. I find, so I'm genuinely a little scared when it comes to FM25, because I'm going to be playing with attributes, and that seems crazy. I'm so used to just dealing with things in ranges and paying relatively little attention. The amount of attention I give to it is essentially just is it just enough? Are they rubbish at a thing that should be key? Are they excellent at a thing that should be key? That's all I've ever done. And seeing numbers, I don't know if my brain will still go through the same process. So it'll be interesting to see. Right, so we've got to look up for Pio Esposito, the best of the Esposito brothers, without any doubt. A fantastic player who is now currently at Napoli. I imagine that was probably quite a big move. 45.5. Oh, okay. So when he starts the game on loan at Spezia, 9 goals in 33 games. Isn't that great? Interestingly, Zen, so Pio Esposito was a player that we almost signed for Roma in the Moneyball Clinic, but opted instead to go with Belgio because he had a great season in that simulation in Serie B. But he comes back from the loan, goes out on loan to Tottenham as a bit part player, scores 5 goals in 24 games, only 6 starts, gets a permanent move off the back of it, plays 1 cup game, scores twice, sent out on loan to the Championship, 19 goals in 38 league games is great, 21 in 43, fantastic stuff. Comes back and is a bit part player again. And now he's been sold to Napoli last year, 45.5 million euros. Again, just not getting any playing time. He's 23 now. So you sort of think that this is kind of like the part of his career where he really does need to be playing. I'd love for us to be able to afford to bring someone like him in, but that's going to be well beyond us. 115,000 euros a week. Hopefully Napoli will be giving him a chance anytime soon now. Yes, he is as real as it gets. Holofab's feeling kind of dead, had a board meeting and went to train for surgery, so nice and comfy in bed now. Yes, rest up, my dude. Very, very much rest up. I mean, it's what, we've got just over a week to go now. I think that you shouldn't have to do anything between like now and maybe sort of early April. Like, people waiting on you hand and foot. Just rest and take it easy. Right, Selic is injured. That's not the worst thing in the world. He's not really part of our plans this season. He is on the developmental list. We haven't had any bids. We have tried offering him out as well manually, and that's not really resulted in anything. So not just is he not really necessarily in our plans, but no other team thinks he's good enough, which is always a little bit of a shame. So DM Basis says, having switched to attribute list, I don't want to go back. Using it on my journeyman has been fun. I love how it makes the world feel wider. Like, I know beforehand, I used to always, like, when I'd start the game, I'd know there'd be, like, a specific defender that's available for cheap who has really good attributes, or the best value attributes I can get with the budget and stuff. And just kind of no longer having that specific level of knowledge opens up so many more players to consider, which I just find so much more exciting. But then I would say that. Lukmar says, the transfer logic of the AI is laughable most of the time. Absolutely. I also think you see it with, I don't think I've come across a football game that has ever been able to do that well. Like this, you look at FIFA, you look at the Ultimate Soccer Manager games, you look at We Are Football. I think it's just such a difficult thing to get right. I'd love it to be. But I don't know what the answer is. Thank you, Johnny. Again, professional streamer. Hungdamin, thank you very much for the hydrate. So Sebastian says, do you think it's ever worth going off of a player's stats rather than the player's attributes? Never actually done that. Welcome in, Sebastian. That is pretty much all we do here. That is pretty much the entirety of the channel. We might use attributes to weed people out. So, for example, if we're looking for somebody to be creative and he's done really well, but he's very, very, very bad at passing, maybe we give that a pass. But the priority here is always statistics when they're available. That is, of course, when they're available at the start of the game. Sometimes when you've got limited resources, you kind of have to take a little bit of a flyer. Right, so DM basis, exactly. You end up buying the same players all the time. Mr. Grizzly P had PO didn't have PO in his Parma save. Spezia had them, and he was an absolute menace. Next season, I had to loan him in, especially with Bonnie poached by Chelsea. Okay, you did have him. Fair. Ooh, pardon me. So Zen, he's got 185 goals in 179 games. That is obscene. Absolutely obscene. Coritiba has a save where McTominay became a Valencia icon. I love that. I'm a sucker for hard-working midfielders. Midfielders that kind of run around like headless chickens and occasionally run into the box and score goals. I do like McTominay. I don't think he's ever going to be the right profile of player for a top team. But he's got cult icon written all over him. So Lukmar says, true enough, but wasn't it this year that one of the talking points was a supposed
It's not the statistics! It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, bless you, Adam, with the subscription to Mr. Grizzly P. What a gentleman you are. It's not the statistics. Apart from Sebastian over on YouTube, just to be clear, it is the statistics. This is a very confusing place, I know. A very confusing place. That's a gift subscription to Mr. Grizzly P from the glorious, the wonderful On The Break FM. What a gentleman. So yeah, one of the talking points was supposed improvement to AI squad building. Haven't noticed that after 1300 hours. I've certainly... So, what I feel like I've observed, and why I'm a little bit reticent to say anything is because I haven't tested it and verified, so that very much likely to be confirmation bias. But certainly, whilst going through the Palk save, Palk and Zaragoza, I didn't notice as many situations whereby teams were signing like four right backs all in the same window. Now that doesn't mean it doesn't go on. What I have noticed is that there does seem to be a certain element of, there are triggers, right? So when the transfer window opens, that triggers the game to go, I need to bid on our top. They do their assessment, they work out we need a right back and we need a left winger, and then they probably use their director of football. That same mechanism is used to identify their target. They put a bid in for the players that they need. If, however, someone bids on another player that would have been in that list, the AI will bid on that as well, because that's like a secondary trigger. And that, I think, seems to be what I've noticed happening, which leads to slightly times where you get lots of players in the same position signed. I've noticed that less this time. Is that enough to be a big thing to shout from the rooftops about? No, not at all. But I do think it's, anecdotally, I do think it's improved a little. Not exactly the most glowing review. So Zen says, managed to sign him for free in League 2 because no one else wanted him. Don't think it was all that, but for some reason he's clicked with your tactic and just literally can't stop scoring. For free. That's incredible. Holofab's a McSauce fan as well. Beautiful stuff. Lookmar's a sucker for a Man United redemption story. Hopefully Anthony will be one of them. I'm never going to feel good about Anthony, I'll be honest.
It's not
this doesn't quite seem right.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, Mr. Grizzly P, you absolute gentleman. Passing on the love, giving a community gift sub to Capo307. What a gentleman. It's not the statistics. Not the statistics. You absolute star. I also see that we've got a little bit of GNG in. Welcome in, Mr. GNG. How you doing today, sir? Lovely to see you. Now, if you're not following GNG, go give him a little tap on that heart icon over there. Moreover, go on over to his YouTube series, because his YouTube series is absolutely fantastic and definitely worth. Oh, actually, in fact, I'm behind chat once again. Johnny has already said exactly that. Now, you guys should know by now that Johnny is a smart man. Johnny is a very smart man. So if he says it, that's got to be your proof, right? That's got to be your proof. Right, so let's head in. Let's make sure we've got the right player selected. We've got Nürnberger. I want Mbamba. I want Garrido as the playmaker. Mbamba, Guy. These two should swap round. Sims is kind of okay, so we're going to bring Nemeth in as that poacher. Just double check here. We are still looking at that 3-5-2 that we're going to be up against. So I'm kind of fine with that. I want Rashidi on the bench. He's going to take the place of Bonch. Hein is still a week away. Bookman, Tubek, Avia, Guy, Garrido, and Bamba, Nürnberger, Vata, Essa, Nemeth. Yeah, I'm happy with... Am I happy with that? No, I want this the other way round. Which means attack, support. Swap these boys over. We've still got the overlaps on, which is absolutely fine. I do want to go with wide centre-backs here so they can support a little bit more underneath. And let's see how we get on. Fingers crossed we can make it 2 out of 2. A home game against Saarbrücken is the kind of game that we should be winning. So the fans expect to win. I have faith in you to deliver such win. But we also found out that whilst we were at Mariehamn, the games that we should win were the ones we struggled with, which is why I'm a little bit apprehensive. NGNG's thanking Johnny Trotter for watching. Marvellous. Duarte Batista over on YouTube says, hello, I'm trying to start using this tactic, but at the beginning of the save, there was never any data to compare and analyse the players. Any advice on what to do at the beginning of each save? So what I would recommend at the beginning of the save is to not sign anyone, generally speaking. I tend to wait until the second transfer window. So if you've got a league that starts in like August, September time, you wait until the January transfer window. However, if you really, really need reinforcements, use attributes. You've still got information about players' attributes. It's just not as exact as the regular approach. So you might be taking a couple of risks in that very first transfer window. You might be waiting as Vata comes in behind. Come on, Vata. Oh, he hits the bar. Vata's... Oh, it's a save. Okay, it's a save. There we go.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Please relay how gegenpressing. Resist the gegenpressing. Welcome in, my dude. Thank you very much. Come on, here we go to Intestine FC, the club where we always eat the cheapest tandoori. Exactly. Thank you very much. How are you doing this evening? Lovely to see you, my dude. So Duarte, yes. So, use attributes to begin with. Wait until the end of the first transfer window if you can. Maybe rely on loans. Then, at the beginning of different seasons or when you take over a new club, just make sure you have a save point from before the season ends so you can then go back and check if you need to. There's another good chance, and that's time it's Kotiba with a save. A decent start. So did I know that Saarbrücken played in the very first European Champions Cup as the league winners of Saarland? I didn't. Fabulous knowledge there. Fabulous knowledge. So you've just arrived at BCN. Marvellous. Illumi, what's the context of that commentary? It's not the statistics commentary. Essentially, Ray Hudson is this... one second. Ray Hudson is just this very, very descriptive commentator. He's very over the top. And I just wanted something that mentioned kind of stats and numbers and data, even if it is in a derogatory term or a derisory manner in this. As Sondheim looks to make it. We got off away with that for that moment. So, yeah, at the moment, it was just a case of, can I find a piece of commentary that is kind of iconic and fun and really, really quite interesting with the use of language. That's all it is. There is no, like specific reason for it to be. For what we're doing here, just it felt fun. Muster mime incoming, quite possibly. That's all right. I mean, it's just a little tickle. We're okay right now. So can we get the goal before the half is up? We've done well so far this half. Some good chances. Nürnberger sends it in. Nemeth heads it over. Looks like it's not meant to be this half. There we go. 10 shots, 1.2 XG. That's kind of solid. I think we've been okay. We take a look here. Momentum has been in our favour. We're very high. They're kept deep, which is great. Let's have a look at our pass map. Help if I press the one for passes, really, wouldn't it? So we can see we're getting a lot of that play out wide as we kind of asked for. Noah Mbamba isn't necessarily getting that much further. Well, actually, Guido is getting quite high, as is Mbamba. Not as much involvement for Vaca. Oh no, more involvement for Vaca than there is for Essa. They look quite similar to me, but different even. And in terms of our possession, it's Nürnberger and Guy who are losing the ball a lot. That kind of makes sense. If we look, so 11 and 8, how many of them have been crosses? 7 and 5. So that's fine. That's fine. Your crosses are going to be relatively low, low percentage chance creation or completion. Like what you're looking at, 15% is good. So I think we can just increase the mentality and that might be enough into the second half. So yes, as Johnny Trotters was saying, Ray Hudson was describing Messi scoring a goal in the season when he got approximately 100 goals. It was it a record-breaking goal as well? I think like it was goal number like 77 or something crazy, and that was a record. As Guy sends it into Vata, Keita gets there and it's out for a corner. Want to bet how long it'll take this time? Whoever gets closest gives a sub to the community. Adam is going right. Okay, let's do this properly. Let's go. How long before I lose my voice? There we go. By 8 p.m. I'm going to put everything in GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So 1 hour. Actually, I can put, yeah, there we go. 9 p.m. 2 hours. Here we go. There's a poll for you. Not just you need to pop it in chat, but you can actually guess how long it takes before I lose my voice. As Cortiriba makes another good save. So Zen, that isn't Sid Waddle. It isn't Sid Waddle at all. It's the problem with these Geordies. They all sound the same. They all sound the same. Right, can we do it here? There we go. Sebastian Tubeck. That's what we needed.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Dumb, stand, the goals are here.
It might have come from a set piece, but you can't say it hasn't been coming. We deserve that. So Adam reckons it's within the hour. Johnny Trotter's going 2.5 seems to be the standard. Yeah, around that 9 p.m. time has been where it's kind of gone in recent times. So Lukmar reckons longer than the last one, but still after about an hour and a half. That's fair. That's fair. Right, yep, Johnny Trotter says a lot of people think it's Sid Waddle. Right, can we make it 2? This feels like one of those games where there's going to be a sucker punch coming. So we'll see how things are going. Just being very patient here. Fine Nürnberger, whips it in. Essa, Nemeth is the one who gets there, and he hits it over.
It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, DM Basis with the joke subscriptions again. Genius. A genius, man. DMB, an absolute gentleman, gifting a sub to Lost Voice. Incredible stuff. Here's Sadell looking to equalise. Souter makes the save. Genius. Genius. So, Adam is happy with the bet with Lukmar. They've reached terms. As the moment we said that it looked like they were going to...
It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Beautiful stuff there from Lukmar. The gift subscription to Mute Man. Oh, there were so many poor souls out there in the world of Twitch wondering why they get gift subscriptions to someone they've never ever heard of, probably aren't aware of Football Manager whatsoever. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right, let's make our changes. That's going to be Froeder. S has not really done much, so he's going to be replaced by Porkle. Porkle can come out on the left, Batter can play on the right, and we're not going to like defend. We're going to keep on going because I would like a second goal. 1-0 at home against Saarbrücken isn't necessarily great.
You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
There we go. There's a subscription to Sexy Mime. I don't know what that was. I'm not going to watch that back. That's for sure. Oh dear God. Oh, I very much regret that. Thank you, DM Basis. A 1-month subscription to Sexy Mime. What a star. What a star indeed. And there we go. So the poll looks like we've still got a little bit of time left. Most people think it's going to be lost within 2 hours. As Vata scores, there we go. And that means one of those.
Darmstadt scoring, Aradalo's glory. Nick has got us going.
Beautiful stuff. Adam loves the community. Night of Need, great going indeed. Relay Hell, why don't they trust in my voice? It feels like I've lost most of the stream serious information. For the last week or so, we've had to end the stream early because I've lost my voice. It gets to that point around 9 o'clock. It starts to go. I think was it last Wednesday or was it last Friday? I can't remember. But yeah, it like completely went like within the space of about a minute. It was fine, and then just bosh, gone. As Sarhin pulls one back in injury time. What a lovely strike from Leo Sarhin. It's a great ball over the top from Seidel. Sontheimer here into Seidel.
It's not the statistics.
Beautiful ball
It's
over the top.
not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, Holiflab. My bad. Holiflab even. Bless you. That's a sub to the silence will kill you. Silence will kill you. Silence I kill you? Oh, is that silence I kill you? That's very threatening. I'm sorry, Holiflab. I've said it again. Holiflab. What on earth? Maybe it's a good thing that I lose my voice because I evidently can't speak. Absolute chaos already. I do apologize. I don't mean to call you Holiflab, but it just keeps on coming out. It is very rude. It is very rude. But as we know, I am Holiflab fan, so it's hopefully balances out. Now, whilst all that's going on, we do have an ad in progress. I do need to go to the toilet, so I'm going to. The ad's already started. I missed that coming in anyway, but I am going to run off for a second. I'll see you guys back in about 2 to 3 minutes. See you in a moment.
it's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
We just about got it there. Almost good timing. Adam with the gift subscription to Holly Flabber. Oh, Holly Flabber, welcome in. I hope you check this channel out after getting that. Wondering why on earth you've been given a gift subscription. Welcome in, Holly Flabber. I'm so bad. I do apologize so much for that. Right, so we've got a mini game that was redeemed by Mr. Grizzly P, and I think we're going to give Player Smash another go, because whilst it took a little while to kind of warm up to it on Monday, we then spent the next 2 hours with some phenomenal suggestions. So I think we might be onto something that just about works out. So I will explain how this game works, and it is a little bit contrived. You're going to receive 2 clues. Those 2 clues are going to give you the surnames of some footballers. The last letters of the first footballer will be the same as the first letters of the second footballer, and you need to give an answer with them merged together. Now, with the example here, a clue might be the first hat-trick scorer in a one-legged European final since 1969, and that would be Ademola Lookman. And then the second clue might be young Ajax midfielder recently arrived in Wales. The answer to that would be Sivert Manswerk. Now, Lookman ends MAN and Manswerk starts MAN. So you connect across the man, and that would give you the answer of Lookmanswerk. So I hope you kind of get it. You're going to see 5 different clues. You've got 5 different answers you can go for. You can choose which order you go for. Once you've got an idea, just chuck those ideas out there. Like, maybe you'll get it wrong, maybe you'll get it right by luck, even if you're not 100% certain. So chat will smash it, exactly. Chat will smash it. I really should have called this Player Smash or Pass, though, really, shouldn't we? We should really should have done. But let's head on in and see what our clues are for today's round. We're looking for the first goalkeeper to score in the Premier League and the first Dutch player to play for Arsenal. We're looking for a goal and 2 assists in the 2018 World Cup opening match and the Ballon d'Or contender who came through the Flamengo Academy. We're looking for the former Dortmund keeper currently in the MLS, with the English-born Irish winger who was West Bromwich Albion's first £1 million transfer. We're looking for a Greek striker, currently playing in Portugal, and a transfer deadline day moving defender. Then we're looking for scored the opening goal of the 2010 World Cup, and a Scottish midfielder who played for Dortmund. Now, do we have any thoughts? It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to try and work out. We've got a lot. Oh my word. Adam has only gone and got the most satisfying answer to say. We have the player that scored the opening goal in the 2010 World Cup is, of course, Shabalala and Paul Lambert. Shabala Lambert. Oh, that's fun to say. And Coritiba's come in and picked up on Pavlidis and Disassi, or Pavlidisassi. Beautiful stuff. And Coritiba managed to just pip hung them into the post. And Lukmano Pants and Badia Dan. Some fabulous work there. Fabulous work there. Now, Hollyfab, before we revealed, had gone for Hollyfabber, going for a mixture of Hollyfab and Ernest Faber. That would have been nice. But what Hollyfab? What Frank Sinatra song is Hollyfab though? Now, Hollyfab has also picked up on Schmeichelde, just beating Zen to the punch there. That was, of course, the first goalkeeper to score in the Premier League, Peter Schmeichel, and the Dutch winger being Glenn Helder. Who remembers Glenn Helder? Now, we do have just 2 remaining. I would suggest just like trying to run through maybe some ideas. Maybe you won't get there. We've got 1 goal and 2 assists in the 2018 World Cup opening match. Now, with the 2010 opening World Cup match, we had the hosts there. So Shabalala played for South Africa. So maybe there's a Russian player that could have been the player that scored in the opening match in the 2018 World Cup, as that's where it's hosted, or their opponents. Okay, I can stop with that one because DM Basis has got it. Look at that. It's Gola Vinicius. Gola Vinicius Jr. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Fabulous work there. So we're down to one last answer. We've got a former Dortmund goalkeeper, and I've missed the T in Dortmund, which doesn't bode well. Currently playing in the MLS. We've got an English-born Irish winger who is West Bromwich Albion's first £1 million transfer. And it's Al Farby that gets it. My word, there we go, Al Farby. It is indeed Roman Berkey and Kevin Kilban. Roman Berkey, Kevin Kilban. Beautiful stuff. Berkilban is like it feels like that actually should be a player's surname. But I do recommend, if you get the time in a space, maybe with no one around, to say Shabalala, do so. It is good fun. It is very, very good fun. So Johnny Trotter was thinking maybe Mitchell Langerak Kilban, but not right. That's some good thinking. That is some good thinking. Sadly, it wasn't to be. But who's able to pull out Mitchell Langerak from the back of their mind? It's sensational stuff. Sensational stuff. So Zen is a fan of that game. That's good to hear. We've got at least one fan. That's what I'm looking for at most. Now, whilst we're away, I did miss a couple of things on the chat, so let me just head back a little bit and say hello to Tyke. Welcome in, Tyke. How are you doing this evening? I did see you come in. I do apologise for not saying hello earlier. Let me also say a huge thank you to Ain't No John, who's come along and followed just this moment. Lovely to have you in. If you're comfortable chatting, who do you support? Who are you playing with on FM? I'd love to hear from you, but zero obligation whatsoever. Now, Holofab did call me a toxic streamer, and he is absolutely right to do so. I will be paying special attention, because I didn't just call you Hollyflab once, I called you it twice, and I've said it again now. And that's bad. That is very, very bad. So Quadmo points out that Silence I Kill You is the Jeff Dunham thing there. Look, Mars not a Jeff Dunham fan. I must admit, I'm not a Jeff Dunham fan myself, but comedy is subjective. So, you know, that's absolutely fine. Johnny's cleared that up as well. RJ heard me say Holly Flap rather than Holly Flap. I prefer Holly Flap. Holly Flap is one hell of a statement. I don't want to know much. I don't mean this in a rude way whatsoever. I don't want to see Holly Flap. That would be crossing some boundaries. So Ray can't shout during the break. So we managed to get back just in time for that, thankfully. Get scammed. Indeed. Right, so Glenn Helder saved my ass on that one. I mean, Glenn Helder, what a player. Who doesn't have a fond memory of Glenn Helder? Funny enough, we didn't choose to sign him for Arsenal in the Moneyball clinic. You know, he wasn't bad, but no need to repeat history on that one. I don't think. It's some nice niche ball knowledge. I think that's what I like about it. I think there's a lot of opportunities to. It's a little bit of trivia. It's a little bit of wordplay, but it's not wordplay that needs you to be English. So trying to find that balance a little bit there. Holly Flabbin, says Adam. Oh, Adam's running with it. Night of Knee says infidel. That's fair. Gonna be sliding in the DMs for the flaps. Well, I mean, what happens after stream, I will have to give you a no disclosure agreement. Obviously, I can't let it be out, but do expect a DM. Do definitely expect a DM. So the infidel comment was the Jeff Dunham character. Fair enough. Right. So RJ says, I don't know who this person is. Just don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just pretend it's never happened and we're all good. We're all good. Yeah, so our next game, I feel like all our away games have been pretty tricky so far. Our next one is against Hamburg. We apparently were in first, so Hamburg must have... Did they drop points? Because we were joint top with Hamburg, but we played one more game, so maybe they haven't played. Currently, it looks like we've got a better goal difference. We've got +4 to their +3, so maybe they've lost a game. They have lost a game. Or was that before? Oh, we'll see in a moment. Tamerlands, welcome in. Thank you very much for the follow. Same question as to Ain't No John, if you caught that earlier. let us know who you support. Let us know who you're playing in FM. Love to hear from you. If you don't feel comfortable chatting, though, obviously no obligation whatsoever. Feel free to lurk. So you don't know who Glenn Helder is? How can you not know who Glenn Helder is? I mean, yeah, you don't want to know who Glenn Helder is. Actually, to be fair, my memory of Glenn Helder is purely based on his time at Arsenal, where he's a little bit rubbish. Whether he was good at Vitesse, Holofab is going so far as to say one of the best Vitesse players, which I think unfortunately says more about Vitesse than it does necessarily about Glenn Helder. I don't want to throw strays that way, but yeah, like he may have been very, very good outside of his time at Arsenal. I don't think he was necessarily that bad at Arsenal. I just think he was a bit underwhelming from what I remember. So Tamerlans, you haven't played FM before, but you're thinking of it, trying to learn the game by watching for now. Well, welcome on in. I will warn you, if you do think of getting into FM, you are in for an addiction like no other. So can I take it that you enjoy football then, Tamerlans? What team do you support? Love to know. Right, so transfer deadline date, we don't need to do anything. So we will do that, and hopefully we can get through without any like major disruptions. I mean, if a team comes in for, say, Benedict Gimber, I'd certainly welcome it, but there's nothing to suggest that's going to happen. Our squad registration is all done. Yeah, nobody's excluded, are they? They're not. There's some youth players that, yeah, might as well have them registered. No harm in doing so. Yeah, let's just hopefully we can get out of them here. Kaiserslautern make an offer for Schulte. Schulte is a young centre-back that I consider him to be our sixth choice in a back three. That's not necessarily, you know, a player I wouldn't mind keeping around as he's young. He's not very good technically. He's a little bit on the slow side, but he's only 18. Unambitious, don't know how much he's going to improve, but I am keen to keep him around if we can. I'm sure he'll... well, very, very easy to reject all the time as well when they come in with these low ball offers. So RJ says, it's always funny to me when I see or hear Vitesse in a sentence. Fair enough. Right, Beer is in. Welcome in from Serbia. How are you doing, Beer? Lovely to have you. So are you playing? Are you playing FM at the moment? Who are you playing with? Who do you support in Serbia? So what are your thoughts on the TGV? Faster than Vitesse at the moment? Oh no, sorry, always funny to... I'm getting lost. I'll miss that bit. So Tamerlans, you support Barcelona. Come on, Los Cules. Fabulous. Are you from Catalonia then? If so, Catalonia Liure. Let's get a free Catalan. Let's free Catalans. Depending on where you sit on that side. So you know, I mean, I'm all for. Has Puigdemont come back from his exile? I know that was like 7 years ago now or something. Crazy. Vitesse means speed in French. Yeah. Okay. That all makes sense. Look at that, an A+ from the supporters, A from the board, not too bad. That's going to change when we lose to Hamburg in the next game, though, that's for sure. Right, also overrated football club at the moment. I mean, I suppose if anyone's going to say it, you can say it, can't you? Let's be fair. Right, N says, what do I think about the new player, Dresko? Who's Dresko? I don't know who Dresko is. Who does he play for, N? Tamerlans is from Azerbaijan. You guys wouldn't know. Fair enough. Now, we have some very, very intelligent people in the chat here. I'm sure there are people who are very, very wide set of knowledge. They might have some good Azerbaijani knowledge. Mine, I'll be honest, is quite questionable. I'm certainly not going to claim that I would know. Right, we have a lookup. Yay, we've got Macho Zelic out on loan. We have a lookup for Enzo Sternal. I've not heard of Enzo Sternal. So he's 21 in 2028, so he must be really young when the game starts. So we have very, very little knowledge on him. Just heading is shown so far. starts the game, from the looks of things, at Marseille, but out on loan to Grenoble, where didn't play much. Then comes back to play in Marseille's reserves, does okay there. Yeah, most of his games seem to be in the reserves. He's got a couple of spot starts for the senior squad, the spot appearances for the senior squad, but his work's been done with the reserves. A loan to Rodez when he was aged 20, 7 goals in 32 games, 4 assists, not too bad. And then back, and he's out on loan at Bordeaux. He's not playing. So I was going to ask whether he was an Anderlecht player. So he's arrived. So he must be young. He must be what? 18, 19? Well, if ever there's a club who's going to sign young players, it's going to be Anderlecht, isn't it? Let's be fair. Maybe fits the profile. So yeah, shame he's not really had much of a chance to impress in the game, so can't really judge much there, unfortunately. So here we go. I said that I'd welcome a bid for Gimba. Not at 3.5 million. Plus 900,000 based on appearances. Plus that's another million. That's 4.5. So they're offering 4.5. This is the end of the transfer window. They've got 45 minutes to get this through. Yeah. We pushed our luck. I think maybe if I'd gone for about 5, we would have got that. Yeah, if I wanted to respond, I couldn't do so. So like, I couldn't then sign someone myself with that time left. So quite happy with that. We should be good. So B plays the Serbian League with FS Zemun, your town club. Marvellous. And how are you getting on? How far into the save are you, Beer? Right, so Adam says, Tony Adams managed in Azerbaijan for a while, didn't he? And Johnny Trotter says, at Kabbalah, my word, yes, beautiful knowledge. So Meldin Dreskovic just joined Darmstadt 2 days ago. Right, okay, very interesting. So I don't know much about the real Darmstadt, I'm afraid, then. He's not in our save here, unfortunately. So I don't know anything, I'm afraid, about Meldin Dreskovic, but someone to perhaps look up once I'm off stream. So thank you for mentioning that. Right, so Levi's. So Holofab has just congratulated Levi because PSV have beaten Feyenoord. Does that mean you're in the final now? I can't remember if you said that was the semis or not. Marvellous result. Wasn't a good game, but with our current form, a win is a win. That's all you can ask for. So Tamerlan is your actual name, if that's what you're asking. Fair enough. Welcome in. Right, at least your team can win. Holofab, you got a win. Actually, was that last weekend? It was. Yeah, it was the weekend just gone. You got a win. It's all good. Everything is good in the world of football right now. That's how it works, right? So RJ says it's good to drink a hot chocolate watching stream after a long day. Oh, hot chocolate sounds good. Hot chocolate sounds like a very good shout. So Lokamar is picking up on his Azerbaijani historical knowledge. The name Tamerlan coming from the historical conqueror Timur. Fabulous knowledge there. My word. Thank you for the hydrate, Johnny. Thank you. Yes, they are. I told you, Tamerlans. There's some exceptionally intelligent people in the chat. Not very intelligent people on the stream talking to you right now, unfortunately. But there's a lot of knowledge and a real breadth of understanding. Some fabulous people. RJ just says very fast Googlers. That's what the games are for. They're just to enhance your Googling skills, make you get really, really quick at them. So Timur the Lame, Tamerlan. There we go. Encyclopedic knowledge, Lookmar. Now, is this like a particular area of interest for you, which is why you know, or do you just know everything? Are you actually an encyclopedia? That'd be incredible. That would be incredible. Right, Hines should be back. Is he? No, he's still out for another day. So I think we're probably going for the same thing as before. Right, against a... Let's have a think here. We're up against a 4-3-3. Generally speaking, they're not going to be crowding the middle as much. So they're not going to have players in this area here, which is fine. They do have the opportunity to double up on the wings, so us doubling up on the wings is quite good as well. But they do have numerical advantage in the middle. I think we're going to go back and try this again. And that will mean a few changes to our personnel. Pardon me. So Essa up front. There's Nemeth up top. We're going to start on a positive mentality. Then I think we're okay with that. Let's see this get absolutely dismantled. I expect a defeat here. I'll be honest. I don't think that we can really compete against a team of Hamburg's stature and resources. But let's hope that maybe there's a surprise in there. A draw would be a phenomenal result. But that doesn't mean we're going to play defensive to try and reduce their threat. We're going to hope that we can carry on creating chances like we have and actually finish them for a change. Johnny Trotter isn't a Google man. He uses Wikipedia. That's a man of culture. So Dresco again, yeah. So we'll certainly have a look at Dresco potentially when I'm off stream. Look, Mars, yep, just yes to both. And Wikipedia, perfect. Ask me the lottery numbers. What are the lottery numbers, look, Mar? I forgot to. I forgot to enter the lottery. There is the lottery tonight. I think the last time I entered the lottery was like a year ago, so it's not like I was meant to enter the lottery. But sometimes I feel like maybe I should. You know, what's the worst that can happen? I throw away £1 or whatever it is. Now here's Guy looking to create a goal. He can't. Shots blocked. Bookman over the top. Nemeth is offside. Nothing much really happened in these opening moments. We've had a couple of shots from each team. We started off okay in terms of momentum, and it's another highlight starting with a throw in here. Nurnberger swings it in. Siebert gets it clear. Jamil Siebert's a very, very good player. Now here's a chance, as is Benesh. Michaelis tries to play it forward. Bookman steps in, cuts it out, plays it back. And here is Tubek, the goal scorer in the last game. Essa on to Nurnberger. Nurnberger sends the cross in. Essa! Oh, Essa. That would have been lovely. Well. So look, Mark, you're not telling because you'd have to share the winnings. I mean, you asked us to ask you. I mean, that seems just mean. N, thanks for being so kind to answer all comments and wanting to know more about plazas. No worries, players indeed, sorry. Absolutely. Lovely to have you in, my dude. Lovely to have you in. RJ, every night is a lottery. Sometimes you sleep, sometimes you don't. There we go. I mean, yeah, I can feel that. I certainly feel that. I tried to get to... I was up editing last night, trying to get to sleep. Just wasn't happening. Wasn't happening whatsoever. It's been quite warm today as well. So, like, I couldn't even have a bit of a lie-in. Right, there we go. Obviously offside, nothing to worry about. Hence why I wasn't paying attention to it as it went in. We saw the flag go up early. Voltemada doesn't have the pace to get in behind. Nonsense. I mean, we've got them really hemmed back, which is incredible. Doing quite well. We've created some chances. We have obviously conceded that goal that was offside. I think we can be reasonably content with that. We've got some... So, yeah, because the Carolero tends to come under and the roaming playmaker tends to push into their position, it does look like they're playing on top of one another. But it's kind of just different phases of play. Kind of okay with that. Maybe. Let's see. Again, we want to look at pass maps. We're seeing that's kind of okay. We've got 4 players over there. Gastenavir could perhaps be a little bit more aggressive, I think. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna say some nice things, even though it's still 0-0. I think we're going to attack even more down that left side, just a little bit more down that left-hand side. We're going to keep with that. I'm okay with Tubek on a yellow card, I think. How slow is Gimba nowadays? Gimba isn't like really slow, so we can make that change at half time. And we're going to look to bring Ellis Sims on probably relatively early into the half, so that we can start getting him back to some fitness if that's possible. So do you guys sleep a lot? Your max per night is 5 to 6 hours. Ooh, that's... I mean, generally speaking, I'm kind of a 4 to 6 hour kind of guy, but then I'll have at least like one day a week where I go to bed stupidly early and I'll have like 8-10 hours. Right, here comes the changes, and the change is... Could Nemeth play... Like, yeah, Nemeth could do some wingery type stuff. So let's make that the change, which is going to be Sims up top, Nemeth buzzing around, and then we can bring Vata on to play that role a little bit later if we need to. Yeah, we'll go with that. We will go with that, and probably some words of encouragement as well. One shot in the whole of the second half between the two teams. That has been Hamburg's. As we look to build up from a throw-in, it's cut out by Meffert. Oliveira back to Vuskovic, inside to Muheim. He's been robbed by Sims. Avia plays it over to Nürnberger. Nürnberger's got space. Run, Nürnberger, run! He did run, and then he went back to Alex. Guido plays it across, and Bamba out to Guy. Guy, he's got some space. It's shot, it's pushed away. Weird save. Weird save. So Johnny Trotter is an 8 hours kind of man. That's a good thing to do. Welsh Smithies anywhere from 8 to 10. Hollow Fab sleeps like a baby in a nappy. That's also for 8 to 10 hours. Sebastian asks, do you think it's worth starting a save in FM24 rather than waiting for FM25? Yeah. What's the worst that happens if you start a save now, Sebastian? If FM24, let's say you start a save tonight, and tomorrow we get an announcement that FM25 is available immediately. You can always choose to then start a save in FM25 or stick with the save you're on. There is no like nothing forcing you that once you start a save in one place you can't change your mind and start something new. Go and do that in FM25 as well. Ditch it altogether and wait for a few months. If you think that you want to start a new save, don't put it off just because there's another game somewhere down the line. Right. Changes. Nemeth off. We're going to make that change with Vata coming on. We're going to play Forkel in midfield. And Guy will be replaced by Rashidi. I'm going to drop him back down to defend. I'm going to ask him to be Rashidi to be more attacking. We'll go with both of them with attacking mentality as we head into the last 10 minutes here. Let's give them a little bit of firing up. So B says, from the second league to fighting for the Champions League in 6 seasons. Fabulous stuff. Thank you. I've helped a lot. Oh, that's wonderful to hear. I say it's all you though. It's all you. You're the one who's playing it. You're the one who's. I mean, getting them to Champions League in 6 seasons is incredible stuff. Meffert out to Königsdorf for his cross. Saar can't get there. That's got to be time. It is. I'm happy with that. A 0-0 draw away against Darmstadt. We were the better team. Maybe those changes towards the end of the game didn't help us. Yeah, got to be pleased with that. Yeah, I will say some positive things there. There we go. So Adams had to pop downstairs for a refreshment. Is there any sign of the voice going yet? There was a little bit of croaking. I've got to be honest. I can hear the croak on my end. I don't know how much that comes through. But we're doing okay. It skipped forward a day before we could get the rest in. Our next game is home against Paderborn. Training, rest you guys up there. Paderborn are a 4-2-3-1 kind of team. So that's going to be a let's play out here again because they've got 2 defensive midfielders. I don't want us having midfielders coming forward into that area that's well marked. So that essentially gives them 4 players, the centre backs and the defensive midfielders, focusing on the poacher. So hopefully we can get some joy by playing with the kind of 3-4-3. We'll see how that goes. It's a DM basis. 4 to 5 hours sleep is normal. I don't like it, but I've never been a good sleeper. That's fair. Let's have our massive fan went to sleep at 5 a.m. But you're at uni, aren't you? That's par for the course, right? That's par for the course. Right, Welsh Smithy says, Joel Pirot ended my season with 18 Premier goals in 24 games and then broke his foot. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Fantastic return. Johnny is right. FM24 games can carry over to FM25 according to their Steam page with the original announcement. Obviously, there's a lot of unknowns at the moment, so I wouldn't plan on... I would hope that it's coming, and that's going to be a feature. I wouldn't plan around that being a feature. I say that very much aware that I have plans based on bringing back the Zaragoza save on the hope that it carries over. So Mr. Grizzly P says, unless it's heavily discounted from the get-go, you're not buying FM25 in March. Fair enough. I've said, as I've said quite a few times, like, news is what's important. I need to actually see and hear and have things. They can give me that information a day before it gets released. That's fine. But I will be making my judgment when I actually know what's coming. Or at least have an idea of what's coming. Oh, we're top of the league. We are top of the league. There's a decent trade every day in NBA so far, but all seems whatever after the Doncic AD one. The De'Aaron Fox trade was quite crazy. Definitely quite crazy. So Zen suggests that I switch to drinking something hot, or at the very least something not carbonated. So part of the reason why I'd been going with the carbonated was I'd noticed, because I did have problems with the voice going kind of before Christmas time. And I'd been tracking it just before Christmas and noticed that the days that I had squash rather than fizzy pop were the days that my voice went. So that's part of the reason why I've been on the soda in recent times. But yeah, probably hot drinks are going to be the way. The problem with hot drinks is I'm a sweaty bastard, right? I've got a light here shining on me all the way through. Then I add hot drinks. I mean, like, I don't have the heating on at any point. So I might need to make hot drinks, but then wait for them to cool. Right, next game is against Paderborn. Come on. So Hungdamin needs an Arsenal loss today. That kicks off soon, doesn't it? It's 2-0. Have Newcastle got a 2-0 lead going into that game? Or was it more? I can't remember. Can't remember. Who cares about that Mickey Mouse Cup? The cup's only important when Villa are still in it. So, Ladislav Armasi, you went to a Spanish party and you don't speak a word of Spanish. I mean, again, it's university. You don't need to be able to speak Spanish. You just have fun. You turn up, you have a few drinks, you mingle. It's all good. Yeah, so he's a squad player. He's come in as a squad player. He's currently used as a fringe player. We're like 5 games into the season. Emre. Bloody Emre. I'm just not going to talk to you. Let's see what happens there. Does he recall him straight away? Maybe if we ignore it, maybe if we do an SI, it'll all just pass over and we'll be fine. So Welsh Smithy bought Pirot for 12 million, accepted a bid for 45 million, and then he breaks his foot. The club is not happy. What happens? What happens? Middleton and Kuzma. Oh, that's an interesting. Oh, I mean, that seems quite fair, doesn't it? Like, Kuz has moments. I don't rate playoff Kuz useless. He's a regular season guy as far as I'm concerned. Whereas you'd argue that Middleton is the other way around. Fuck you, Emre. We bought him in as a squad player. He played a couple of games. We're not even out of September. What a dick you are. In fact, that needs to be something I have. You know, I need to be able to keep track of these things. Dick Emery, just to remind me. Right, so Fart Fins is in. Welcome in. You have the worst striker in the world. 0 goals in 4 games with 4 XG. Oh, that is pretty rough. So Lukmar asks, how am I going to cope in the summers, especially with warming temperatures? So I have a portable aircon unit, which is quite loud, but I think I've got it set up in a way that circulates the air around the house quite well, without it causing too much interference. I've got the mic is very specifically single direction, so that it doesn't pick up noise from behind it. Yeah, but how am I going to cope? I cope very, very badly. Very, very badly. Which is why I bought aircon units. Right, so Sebastian asks, who do I support? I support Aston Villa for all my sins. I'm not from Birmingham, but my best friend's family was from Birmingham, and they supported Aston Villa, so it's the team I knew most about. So there we go. Zen, personally, I just tend to sit in the dark. Fair. Does Emre speak English with a Geordie accent? You would expect so. You would expect so. Anyone know much about Amo Amayor? I've never even heard of him. Amo Amayor. That almost feels like it's a setup for a pun that I'm missing. Is he someone that you've signed? Someone that you're looking at to sign in FM? Who knows? RJ reckons Giannis will slap Kuzma so he'll behave. But surely LeBron would have slapped Kuzma so he'd behave, and that never quite worked. FMG&G, Dick Emery. Oh, you are awful. I am awful. It is a... that wasn't the intention. I was just going to call him Dick because he's being a dick. It was only whilst we're in the moment that we went with it. Amo Yar sounds like the end of Old MacDonald. Exactly. Old MacDonald had a farm. Amo Yar. Beautiful stuff. So Strasbourg signed him from Southampton. So Johnny says, yep, youth player from Southampton. Fair enough. Is this going to be... Is this part of like a pathway thing? So is he going to Strasbourg to then be sold on in a couple of years' time? Or are Strasbourg actually doing like their own transfers for a change? Wild. He looks tiny. I mean, he's only a young lad from the sounds of things. I mean, where does he play? Is he like a striker or a winger? Who knows? So Adam's getting stressed. Not long now indeed. You've got 3 minutes for me to lose my voice. Let's be fair. It's happened quicker than that in the past, so it's not completely beyond the realm of possibility. That's a good reason as any to hydrate, really, isn't it? Here we go. It's starting the save. It's only 6 seasons in, but it is starting to slow down a little here. But that's all right. We did turn on detail level for a lot of leagues once we moved to Germany, and we added a load in. So maybe it'll be a case of just adjusting them a little bit. So that seems like a long time to process games on a Saturday. So Lukmar says, it's wild to me that you can even ask that question about a legitimate football club nowadays. Are they doing their own actual transfer business? Or it's crazy, isn't it? Really is crazy. So DM Basis says, I'm pretty certain it just went during a sentence at one point. There have definitely been times where it's just kind of like, you've gone from, it's not completely gone. I've been able to just about finish the sentence. Lukmar's feeling great about this. It does look like you've got it in the bag, Lukmar. Let's be honest. Landislav says, Strasbourg are so much better run than Chelsea. It's quite funny. Really nervous for next season, though. Why are you nervous? So, Foot, is this a journeyman? Not necessarily, Foot. So, there is no, this is a save. We started in IFK Mariaham, They're like a club based in Finland, but it's a set of islands off the coast of Finland that have their own like independent government. It's kind of a nice, interesting place. We were there for 4 seasons. They started in the top division as it was anyway. And we've just moved to Darmstadt. We've been at Darmstadt less than a season, but it's not a case of we are specifically moving or we've got set goals wherever we are. It's just a case of seeing what emerges naturally with the narrative. Let's play, let's have some fun and see what we're going for. So fun. You're actually from Finland. Marvelous. Fabulous. Fabulous. I don't have to explain the joys of Mariehamn. Beautiful. Mariehamn is so beautiful. Mariehamn is so beautiful as well. A fabulous, fabulous place. I'm a big fan of it. Went there once, did a working holiday. Right, so what are the changes we're going to make? We're going to give Sims the start. We're trying to keep that space, keep our players away from their double pivot. Probably get more joy against their right back, which is fine. So we've got Essa there, so that'll be Bata, Essa, Bamba in as the defensive midfielder. Garrido there. Pine isn't ready to come back. Start the game unbalanced. Yeah, we should be good with that. We should be good with that. And there we go. Adams gives the congratulations. He concedes defeat. It's hit 8 p.m. Right, we'll go for the major stuff again. We're going to say I have faith. And let's see how we get on this time. Right, it's a Musterman. It's a Musterman indeed.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Well, Adam says a deal's a deal. He lost the bet with Nookmar, and there are 5 community subs. That's one going to the glorious, the mustachioed wonder Honey Badger FM. Another to the truly lovely Limo57. We've got some for Gaia Mech Motivum. I don't know who you are, Gaia Mech Motivum, but I bet you are wonderful too. There is a gift subscription to Carla Rodriguez. Carlato Rodriguez. And one to Nick Lemon. Nick Lemon 23.
You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
I'm so sorry for speaking over the top of that. Lookmar, bless him. Lookmar has done what done. He won the bet, but still, bless Lookmar. As we go 1-0 down to Shooter Machino, who's beast, he scored against us last season. But Lookmar with 5 gift subscriptions to Diddy Guella, to Poi. I will try this again. Diddy Guella, Hope is Dope, Simon Thornley, Terry Screwloose, and Big Man on Campus 88. What a gentleman. What a gentleman. Right, that's the first shot. It's a really, really good chance. A really, really good chance. No missing that. And he didn't. Shuto Machino has given them the lead. We need to play a little bit better. We might need to push that mentality up pretty sharpish. So France says that they're a lovely club, but basically fans of every club wants them to get relegated because of the travel to away matches. But like the ferry over, that's like it's a fun day, right? A fun, different type of way of, it's something different to your normal Saturday away games. I say having not having to make that journey on a and it's only 1 game a season for each club, right? Well, 2 once it splits, actually. Yeah, I suppose potentially, and with the cup. Okay, yeah, maybe I get that. Right, here's Guy. Can he create something here? He feeds Essa. Essa back to Guy. Guy in a great position. Guy makes it 1-1. That's what we needed.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
Beautiful stuff. Now we've got Kiwa Ping in over on YouTube. Welcome in, Kiwa Ping. You're trying a Moneyball save for the first time, but I can't help buying Wonder Kits. I bought a Drago, but it was only 11.5 million. You also bought Gray for 32 million, but his stats were the same as my starter. I'm also making some proper Moneyball as well, like 5-3 players and a 600k player for Wolves in the second season when I finished 4th. Ultimately, so Moneyball is all about finding value. If you can find players that are very, very good. They might still be quite expensive signings if their statistical performances is matching up with that. That's not necessarily unreasonable. I mean, 32 million for Gray does sound a little on the steep side, but ultimately play the game how you want. Play the game how you want. Right, can we turn this around? We have equalised. We would like a goal before half time if we possibly could. Our 7 shots are still less than the XG from the 1 chance they've created. Granted, it was a tap in from 3 yards out. But we do need to be maybe a little bit more fluid. We've got much better shape. In terms we're seeing a lot of the ball down the right hand side, a little bit less down the left. Essa's doing well cutting in. Rocco Vatta's not really been involved much. And that should be the side that we can get in behind. That's the side with the wing back. Let's have a look here. Anton Guy, I expect most of them are going to be from crosses. He's lost possession 10 times, but he's 9 unsuccessful crosses. That kind of makes sense. They're all being crossed into the right area, so I'm happy with that. I didn't mean to. I should have told them that I'm unhappy with them. Let's go all the way up to attacking. I'm going to ask Vatta to stay wider. I want him to be more in space out here behind the wing back, and then potentially to come in. Oh my, welcome in MurphFM. I mean, I don't want to suggest that this is the sexiest Birmingham City fan in the FM community, but I'm going to say it. How on earth was your stream, sir? Welcome in, Raiders. We're currently at half time in game 7 of our season in the Zweite Bundesliga with Darmstadt. We took this team over just in January of the year in game, so we're just into our first full season, hoping we're going to be pushing for promotion. Unfortunately, right now, we're currently drawing 1-1 at home against SC Paderborn, who've only had 1 shot. So it's not been going all that well. We'll see how things go though. Yeah, welcome on in. If you're comfortable chatting, would love to know who you support, who you're playing with in FM. And as I say, I'd love to hear from you, Murph, about how the stream's going. So, you've got to go to Villa Park to watch Black Sabbath. I don't understand why you'd want to go to Villa Park to watch Black Sabbath. I mean, in the tweet, it said that they haven't played in 20 years, and they never played at a professional level. I mean, they're just not going to be able to play football. But, sorry, I do apologise. I think that's the 3rd time I've made that joke as well today. I'm ashamed of myself. But it is going to be...
Statistics! It's not the statistics! You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, DM Basis, you absolute gentleman, gifting a subscription to the glorious Murph. Murph and I were 1 day away from doing our Match of the Delay episode. I was so looking forward to that. I'd had something specifically built around the fact that he's a Birmingham City fan. It feels like such a shame, but you're well. That's good to hear. Right, Johnny says the tiny names on the bottom of the playbill are quite... It is one hell of a lineup, isn't it? It is one hell of a lineup. It's Mbamba. Great save from Huth. So DM Basis is more interested in the support. It would be cool to say you've seen Sabbath. Sabbath is certainly... You go to see Sabbath because it's an opportunity, right? Nobody's expecting they're going to be good. I mean, we've seen... surely. And I mean that... I love Ozzy. I love Ozzy to pieces. But he was certainly struggling when they were performing a long time ago. So I can't see that going well from a performance point of view. Well, from a singing point of view. The performance, the spectacle, I imagine is going to be amazing. Or I certainly hope it will be. But it's about the experience. It's about the chance to go and see them, which would be great fun. Right, there's a chance. Hits the wall. Now we've got a corner. What are we going to do with this? Alex is going to swing it in, so it should be at the far post. There's Nemeth headed away, and Bamba should be able to gather. I'm guessing that's the entirety of the highlight. It is indeed. It is indeed. Right, are we going to encourage, or are we going to shout some things at them? Let's see what happens here. Looks like it might be a chance for Paderborn. Schumacher down the left-hand side. Nobody's coming anywhere near him. He cuts it back. It's there all the way through to Twite. Oh, bugger. Oh, bugger indeed. Well, that defines what we're going to do. Well, once we can shout. Have they had another shot? Have I missed them having another shot at some point in this game? Welcome in, FM Console, by the way. Lovely to see you, my dude. How are you? How are you? Nope, that's 2 shots, 2 goals. Here we are going to shout some mean words at them. And let's hope that we can respond straight away. Right, Guido into Vata. Vata's going to play it back to Tubek. Into Mbamba. And they've decided this is going to be a highlight, so I hope this is something. It's Mbamba pushing forwards, finds Guy. Guy crosses it to the far post. Ludwig gets it clear. Mbamba loses out, and here's a chance perhaps for Paderborn. Plays it to Lasmi. Hein steps in. Hein is just generally sauntering around. Finds Mbamba. Essay's now in behind. Essay. That's not a penalty. That was as clean a tackle as you've ever seen. So Murph says that we'll link up one night and do a Blues versus Villa game on here instead. Absolutely. Beautiful. I shall indeed, my dude. Right. Here we go from the penalty spot. Avia. There we go. That's the least we deserve.
The team will love the goals we drop to be part of the wave. Darmstadt winning under Italo.
No less than we deserved. Right, Murph's got ahead. No worries. Lovely, lovely to have you in, my dude. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Right, what changes are we going to make? This is why I want a 2 up top system. We now are going to go much more traditional. Target forward attacking. Advance forward. That means those 2 swap round. Ooh. So Essa can play in midfield. He is left-footed. So, because he's left-footed, Mazzalo on that side, Cavallero on this side. Attacking on that side, support on that side. Target forward over on the right. And Bamba's looking tired as well. So the Cavallero is a more defensive role. That can be Fröder. We're going to take play out of defence. We're going to push that tempo up. Let's do this. So Murph says the show is actually other bands doing some songs. It's not like the entire show will be them. So the singer of Ghost will do a song in place of Ozzy. Okay. The drummer from Sleep Token is doing drums on a few. So it's more of a cover band with the real life members doing something. That makes sense. That seems like a much better approach. So how's the save been lately? Asked Console. By the way, if you're not following Console, go give him a follow. Probably better to head on over to YouTube and go watch his videos over there. I'm sure you've seen them already. Fabulous stuff. I see that you've dropped another one this morning. Lovely thumbnail about Sega's and their role in what might be happening with FM25. Right. Demand more. Come on, we got to get something out of this. And right, Garrido is tired. So that last change can be Forkel. Have him attacking. Werder to drop. Something like that. Hit those crosses as well. We don't have as much physical presence up there, but we can maybe Nah, doesn't look like it. I think that's going to be a disappointing draw. Or is it? Here's a chance. Hine finds Essa. Essa crosses it to the far post. Rashidi's beaten in the air. Bookman gathers it. Bookman's created a... Bookman, our defender, with a cheeky back heel to set up Forkel. His shot, unfortunately, is deflected wide. Is that the chance gone? Essa will take the corner. Yeah, the save's been going well, console. We took Darmstadt from 16th place when we took over in January, all the way up to 6th at the end of the first season. This is our first full season. We're like 7 or 8 games in now. We're doing okay. We were joint top of the table. Probably not after this result. This is a very disappointing scoreline at home against Paderborn. Can feel a little bit hard done by, but you know, that's how these things happen. We did also get a penalty to equalise, so in many respects, Paderborn can also probably feel hard done by with a draw. Right, there we go, end of the game. Ah well. So, Ladislav Almasi fans asking whether DM Bassist is a millionaire, but he's just someone without an accountant that's relying on an accountant to step in. Makes sense. Yeah, that feels like a tough result to take. 2 shots, 2 goals, but they were good quality chances. Very, very good quality chances. We were asleep at the proverbial wheel. I'm disappointed. Very, very disappointed. And that drops us down all the way to 4th because it's early in the season. Of course it does. You know, these. You know, a win can take you up 5 places and drop you down. A defeat can drop you down 5 spots, so that makes sense. Our next game will be against Braunschweig. Get these guys rested up. Braunschweig. Do a little bit of that. Interesting. Lots of dominance in central areas. Look to double up on the wings would make sense. We'll probably start with this formation again. Yeah, let's see how that goes. So Johnny Trotter's got an FM24 conspiracy. If you invert Sega, you get ages, which is how long FM24 is taking. Beautiful. Ages indeed. I heard it loading my Sega Mega Drive as a kid. So the Quez, welcome in by the way. Have you had to deal with your favourite FM player and Musterman mentioned Baris Attic at Magdeburg? I don't think he's at Magdeburg anymore. He's must be now what? So if we're in the 6th season, I think he's 28 when the game starts. He's going to be around 33, 34. He is indeed 33 years old. He's now back at Sivasspor. Well, he's back in Turkey, currently at Sivasspor. He moved to Besiktas, in fact, in the 24-25 season. Never quite kicked on, unfortunately. Cash in the attic. Yeah, there we go. Right, so that's some marvellous timing. We have an ad coming up. How about that then? So, I'm going to disappear now for about 3-4 minutes as I do all the exciting things like go to the toilet, grab another drink, probably poison myself a little bit. I will see you in 4 minutes. We're back. Welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking by. Thank you, by the way, Finn's Foot, for the follow. I'm guessing you were fuck Finns earlier. But if not, I do apologise if I've made the wrong assumption there. We've had a little redeem for a minigame by Zen here, so let's play a round of Only Connect. If you're not familiar with the way that we play these games, I will explain. You're going to see 4 pictures of footballers, one after the other. You've got to work out what the connection is between them. Now, that connection might be that they've all played with the same player, or under the same manager, or at the same club. It might be something a little bit more digging is required. Maybe they're the 4 fastest goal scorers in a competition, or they all scored winning goals in a cup final, or something along those lines. Sometimes on a Friday, they can be a little bit more abstract. Thankfully, it's not a Friday, so we don't need to worry about that. So once you see that, once you think you've got an idea, just guess out. You can guess as many times as you want. The earlier you get it right, the more points you get. And that puts you on that lovely little scoreboard just beneath me there. So let's head on over and see what we've got for the very first clue. So Ladislav, our massive fan, says, who would use multiple accounts? Exactly. No one would. No one would. El Norby's in. Welcome in, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Long time no see indeed. How are you? The Kvez is guessing that the link might be Zlatan Ibrahimovic somehow. No harm in guessing. I mean, if it comes off, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be amazing. But it sadly, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is not the link. So Ladislav, our massive fan, is suggesting that they all fell upwards. Quite possibly. Now, I would say, if you recognise who the player is, do pop it in chat. Kind of helps everyone know who it is, because not everyone's going to recognise all the pictures. Make sure we've kind of got like a mutual understanding. I know that points are at stake. There's a slightly competitive element there, but we're all friends here, right? So Zerachul is suggesting that it might be a PSG link. I mean, he is in a PSG kit, so that is a perfectly reasonable assumption. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it that easy for you. Whilst it's not going to be as hard as some of our Friday editions of the quizzes, we're not going to make it really, really easy. So El Norby has gone to suggest that it might be Moneybags team players. What would you define as a Moneybag team? Like, could you quantify it? Does the team have to spend above a certain amount? It's not going to be that, I'm afraid, but I'd love to know, yeah. So Crabmo fan has gone for Everton. Again, a perfectly fine link there. He did indeed play for Everton, because Ladislav Al Massi fan has correctly identified that it is Idrissa Gana Guy. Koatiba said that they've all said homophobic remarks. We're certainly not going to celebrate such the inclusion of that player. We're not going to then have a whole 4 players that would do that. Not unless they also got sacked for it. That's for sure. And so that isn't the clue, I'm afraid. Zerachul is going for African DMs. It's a very fine guess. It's not African DMs. We have a second clue here, and maybe that can help narrow down the options a little bit. So Zerachul's gone for players with over 100 national caps. That's a fine guess as well. It's not what we're looking for. And Mr. Grizzly P suggested, is it 2 stints at 1 club? Obviously, Idrissa Gana Gueye went to Everton, went to PSG, returned to Everton. Fabulous bit of knowledge there. Not what we're looking for, though. So Lukmar has correctly identified that it's Witzel, as has Adam on the break, as has the medical car. This is definitely, indeed, Axel Witzel. So Koatiba is wondering whether they all played for Liège. That's a fine guess. It's not what we're looking for. I do wonder. I'm trying to remember who the next 2 players are off the top of my head, because I prepped this for Monday. My memory doesn't go back that far. I know what the connection is. Would the other players have played for Liège? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't think they have. But I'd be surprised. Let's be more clear. I'd be very surprised if they all played for Liège. But it's not out of the realms of possibility. So DM Basis going for that they've all come out of international retirement. That's a fabulous guess. Well, it's not what we're looking for. Have they all moved on deadline day? No. I can say with confidence they haven't. But again, fine thinking, especially as it was prepared for Monday. So the quiz is suggesting players who have faced each other in national teams. I see where you're going there. I think that would be far too difficult to track and make make relatively clear. So, no, unfortunately, it's not that one, I'm afraid. Kawatiba says Guy didn't play for Liège. Fair enough. Players born in 1989 from Zerachul, they played as defensive midfielders from El Norby, and they've all had a season with most tackles, interceptions in Europe from Ladislav Massifan. Fantastic guesses. Fantastic guesses. Johnny Trotter's gone for, is Eden Hazard the connector? I mean, I suppose that there is like, where would he have played with Idrissa Gana Gay? So Gana Gay was Everton, PSG. Well, it's Aston Villa, Everton, PSG. Oh, he was at Lille, wasn't he? It was at Lille. Now, I'll be honest with you, Johnny. I knew it was at Lille because the next player is Martin Ødegaard, who played one game alongside Eden Hazard in Real Madrid. And we finished with Mo Salah, who teammate with him at Chelsea. Because it is indeed that they all played with Eden Hazard. Fabulous work, sir. 3 points your way. Fabulous work. So Adam said that you were totally basing the guess on it being topical rather than the players. That makes sense. Ladislav's suggestion of all coached by Super Tommy Tuchel was fine as well. But Adam is right. Geez, that was fantastic work. Fantastic work from Johnny Trotter. The applause coming in from Medical Carl and from Mr. Grizzly P and from Kawatiba and from Zen and from Levi and from El Norby. The Quez got it is exactly right there. That was a damn good guess. A damn good guess indeed. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. It's still too soon, said RJ. I'm sorry. So whilst we were on the break, I was manically pressing spacebar up until this point. Only got forwards a couple of days. Anton Guy has broken his ribs. We'll send him to a specialist, but that means we are without our right back. William Rashidi, who we were trying to sell at one point, very much back in contention, which is crazy. Never thought that he'd be starting games for us, or at least not games that weren't like crappy cup games. So FMFC, welcome in, by the way, my dude. Lovely to see you there with 6 rounds of applause. Absolutely deserved. And mostly away from keyboard, but even DM Bassist is applauding. Like, he's come back. DM Bassist has noticed it. He's come back to his keyboard just to applause. That shows you how good a guess it was. So is Mustermann tearing the Zweite Bundesliga apart? Not quite. We're currently 4th after 8 games, so certainly not doing too bad. We've been up and down. Actually, no, we haven't. We're playing really well apart from scoring goals. Our goal scoring woes are very much a thorn in our side at the moment. We lost Oscar Wilhelmsen to a release clause, and so far Andrus Nemeth hasn't really stepped up to the plate. Sims has been injured, but it already feels like that's going to be... We're only 8 games in, but I have a feeling that we're going to be trying to scrape our way through until January to still be in contention, and then look to sign a new striker. Because, we've dominated a lot of games. We should have won more than we have, and we've thrown away some really good opportunities. Somebody looks like they're going to be... Oh no, he's not talking smack. That's fine. Our third choice goalkeeper's injured. That's not any big concern. So FMFC loves the quiz. Hope you're well. I'm doing very well. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I look forward to the quizzes most when it comes to the streams. I think it's always fun to have something a little silly to happen. Break it up a little bit. Ladislav Massivan, it's 1-0 to Newcastle. Jacob Murphy playing like Messi last few months. Incredible. So 5 goals and 7 assists in 30. Is he really? It's only taken him like 6 years, and he's finally starting to realise his potential. There we go. That's all it took. All it took was patience. Actually, it is a very Newcastle thing, though, isn't it? Like, a winger has a hot streak for like 2 months and then goes off the boil. We've seen it with Miggy Almiron a couple of seasons back. We saw it with Anthony Gordon last year. So maybe this is the year of Jacob Murphy. El Norby, we've signed Andrus Nemeth. We have indeed. My first Hungarian signing, I believe so. He was a bargain, 190,000 euros. He didn't play much with Hamburg, so his development probably hasn't gone as well as it should have done. Certainly, when he gets lots of playing time early, we see from the simulations for the Moneyball clinics that he's really quite prolific. But he hasn't been for us. He's spent most of the season in reserves. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but a very low cost one. I'm not sure. He's not got me convinced at the moment. That's unfortunately the case. But there's still time. There's still time. If he can go on a nice run of form towards the end of the season, maybe we'll be all right. So don't forget Joe Linton, the glorious Joe Linton. Everyone's favourite naturalised Geordie. So Let Us Have Our Massive Fan says that was Andrus Nemeth born in Cape Town. Interesting. Because he's got German as his main nationality in game, possibly as well. Very, very multicultural fella. So the quiz asked, how does your sign only players known by your scout scale as you move up the football pyramid? Well, generally we get more scouts, so absolutely fine. A lot of my saves, generally speaking, have been towards the higher end of the football pyramid, and I really like it from that perspective, because you're kind of going to have knowledge anyway. Your scouts kind of inherently have knowledge on slightly better players. You lose out on wonder kids quite often because you just don't know about them. And I love the way that it forces you into looking at players just within that knowledge base. So it adds a layer of challenge, but not a great challenge. I think that one of the elements of a statistic-based approach is that it tends to find that there are lots of players that will be good for your level at any given situation. So in a weird way, you kind of end up broadening the pool that's actually worth looking at, even if some of those players aren't necessarily the best in the world. Right, so Hein is still a little bit off. Rashidi there. So yeah, we're going to try and avoid that bit. We're going to ask these guys to sit inside. So yes, that's going to push them in closer to the defensive midfielders there. But hopefully open up more space for the wing-backs who are on stay wider. Also, do I want them to... So he's a ball-playing defender. He's looked slightly deeper, so it looks like they're playing him on cover. On the right, they've got a complete wing-back. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. Got the overlap on. We're away from home, so we'll stick with balance to start off with. Let's see how things go. Let's keep with the media stuff. They always respond well to that. Let's just have a look at Andrus Nemeth. No, so he doesn't have German nationality. I'm wrong there, but he was indeed born in Cape Town. 4 goals and 29 caps for Hungary in this save so far. Sees no benefit to taking on German nationality. But his 1 goal came in the cup. That's now 7 league games without a goal. Started 5 of those as well. It's not been pretty. His first season wasn't bad. 4 starts, 21 sub appearances, 5 goals. Just not really kicked on since there. So it does look like maybe we were wrong to take that risk, but we'll see. Tyke loves the 3-4-2-1, but you prefer one with AMs. That's fair enough. I've said this before. I don't really have like a favourite formation, so It's all very much about what feels right for the players at our disposal and the team that we're looking at. So we've got a 3-5-2 that we'll be using as well. Potentially in a few moments, once we go 1-0 down here, it's headed against the post. Let's tell the guys to focus. That's a good chance. Braunschweig could have possibly taken the lead there. Maybe. Oh, that's loose from Garrido. Fortunately, sells Essa short, and here's a chance for Braunschweiger again. But he now sells his man short. Rashidi steps in. Garrido plays it through the lines. Ratta with the goal. There's no flag. There's no flag.
Darmstadt scoring to that Aratalo beat. Darmstadt scoring to that Aratalo beat. Darmstadt scoring to that Aratalo beat. Darmstadt scoring to that Aratalo beat.
Boom. Rocco Ratta finally gets a goal. We scored a chance. We scored our first shot of the game. It's a good chance. 0.31 XG to be fair. It's a lovely ball through from Garrido, who we thought would possibly cost us the chance to begin with. My word, look at that ball share. Just 26% so far. That is quite crazy. And yet, they're barely out of their half. It's just, we have a mid-block. We're not pressuring really, really high up. And it seems that with their back three and the double pivot, they're seeing a lot of the ball without necessarily progressing. But here comes Rittmuller. Rittmuller sends it back. Joe Gomez. It's not Joe Gomez. Forces the save. Can we hold on for the last few moments? Rittmuller with the corner. Into the near post. Bookman gets there. Essa gets the ball clear. That is a crazy 2% ball share. That is, yeah, we need more of the ball. We need more of the ball for sure. So RJ is off, by the way. I do apologise. I missed that. If you're still around, thank you very much for dropping by. I hope you have a lovely night's sleep. So Al Norby wants to know what's my opinion about Villa's winter transfer season. Am I happy with the Rashford loan deal? Sophie as mentioned earlier. I'm perfectly content with the window so far. Well, with the window, we've ultimately kind of just trod water. When Deer goes, Rashford comes in, Diego Carlos goes, Tasasi comes in, Jaden Philogene goes, Asensio comes in. On paper, that should be an improvement in all three areas. We also brought in Andre Garcia, loaned out Nedeljkovic. But only time will tell. They're short term. They should help us now, allow us to then be in a good position come the summer, potentially. It's a really, really good chance for players like Asensio and Rashford to prove themselves. And they'll need to prove themselves. Right. So I am going to go with that. We are going to move in with the... No, we're not going to play it narrow because of the double pivot. But when the... which defensive midfielder is which? We're going to man mark basically with our wingers. They've changed to a 4-3-3. Interesting. Right, now that if they've moved to a 4-3-3, I am going to switch to our 4-4-2. And that will be us switching these guys around. We're going to do it the other version of it. So wing back attack on that side, wing back support on that side, the false 9 over on the right. And we're going to look to... where are we going to press? No, we'll see how things play out in the first few moments of the half, before we then make any changes from there. So, Ladsab says, seems like we need a centre forward. Proper Chelsea player, perhaps. No, the jewel of Slovak football. Robert Bosnić, the Almasi before Almasi. Surely we should be going for Almasi. Surely we should go for Almasi. Adam is a fan of Robert Bosnić, and I know what that means. It's going to be Dylan Shambost all over again. It's going to be Dylan Shambost, because what Adam wants, Adam gets. And I'm happy with that, to be fair. I just then have to feel guilty when we need to sell him afterwards. Right. momentum still very much in Braunschweig's favour. We did already check that Almaty isn't game. You are right. You are very right indeed. Right, Nemeth comes on. Drop that tempo. And we are going to look to put pressure on Kojic here. So we should be trapping inside. And we're going to hopefully have these guys kind of coming and swarming when it gets into the defence midfield to try and get them to turn the ball over a little bit. We're also going to look to get Brian Hine back up to game speed. Let's see how we go. Hear that. Come on now. Bosnick is mine, says Adam. Fair enough, fair enough. It's time to get Slaymar in. We need to go check Slaymar, in fact. We need to go check Slaymar because there has been a development. As Bookman tries to create space, Tarek Bookman, there we go. Ooh.
The team will love the goals we drop to be part of the wave. Darmstadt winning under Mika Aritalo.
Nobody challenges Bookman, so he carries it, goes it all alone, fires kind of low and hard at Hoffman, who can't get enough on it. It creeps into the net. And now here's Nemeth trying his best to chase it down. He's not that quick, bless him. But he is putting the effort on. Here's Jekyll. Plays it to Gomez, out to Rittmuller. Rittmuller's going to run down that right-hand flank. No defender's going to get close to him. Rittmuller sends it into the far post for Leap's header is over. Hey. So from a stat point of view, oh my word, what an awful game. What an awful game for any kind of neutral. Right, Essa is looking tired, so he's going to be replaced by... Do we? So Garrido is also tired. So let's focus on that first. I'm going to put Mbamba in that roaming playmaker position. I'm going to bring further on for Garrido. And then Roman Essa is going to be replaced by Cooper or Bonch. Bonch is young. He's not fully fit. So we're going to bring on Dustin Forkel. Let's swap this back round again. So that's that way round. Wing back attack on that side. Batter to Switch over to the left. And let's get that time wasting up. And our last change will then probably be Vatter coming off. It will indeed. No, it won't. It'll be Noah and Mbamba. And Mbamba is also tired. So that can be Bonch coming on. Bonch can move up. Further can be the anchor. And that should, hopefully see us through, which would be quite nice if we can. So Bosnick is on another level to Shambost, he says. I mean, in theory, yes. In theory. I was more talking about the feeling around him. So where'd you Bosnick from? Adam got him in his Boa Vista save, indeed. Okay, that's literally what you've said word for word. So, fun fact about Nemeth, it means German in Hungarian. Interesting. There's a Slovak striker called Adam Nemec as well, possibly. Is there going to be a La Bamba sound clip must surely be incoming? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I'm hoping that once I get the last bits of edits on the director's cut, that means I'm going to have a couple of days to start doing the portraits now that the transfer window is closed, start doing some player-specific songs. And talking of songs, you know what that win means.
Darmstadt scoring, Aritalo's glory, Mika's got us going Darmstadt scoring, Aritalo's glory, watching all the players taking you to places that we never been before. They now Darmstadt scoring to that Aritalo beat. Darmstadt scoring to that Aritalo beat.
Boom. And that takes us back to top. Although Bochum have a game in hand, They're 2 points behind, just 6 goal difference after 9 games, and it's gone to the next day immediately. Boo! I wish there's a way to stop that. There probably is with terms of processing breaks, to be fair. We've got 20 days now until the Kaiserslautern game, and so that means we want some friendlies in here. We've got under 19s there. Let's pop these in. Let's make them some nice easy games. I'm just worried. I'm just interested in fitness, so we can play a game against Darmstadt and a game against Tasmania Berlin. There we go. That'll be fine, right? That should be fine. So what is the news about Slaymar? Let's do this the right way around. Let's head to leagues and focus, because the league is now, there was 2 games remaining. Okay, 2 games remaining. It looks like Mariehamn are going to get their 3rd successive title, possibly. Just one win might do it. 1 win might do it. 4 points. Into Turku are 3 points behind. Their games are against HJK and Inter Turku. So if they draw against Inter Turku, they've pretty much guaranteed themselves the win there. They're in the Swarman Cup final as well. So possibility to do a double. Yeah, it's not going too bad. Not going too bad at all. Oscar Snore has stayed as the starting goalkeeper. Reitnen is the starting centre-back alongside Billy Kumetio, who's currently suspended. Lovely to see them still doing quite well. What you might notice is there's no Savalainen. There's no Enquist. Max Larsson played a decent number of games, but not that many. Mattis Kiviko has been the starter at right-back. Jimmy Dahlstrom playing in midfield, that's fine. Mamadou Diane played a reasonable number of games. Adam Shu, he's played a load of games. That's all right. Saidu Alium is in. Saidu Alium is in as a winger. Looks like he's probably playing a lot off the left wing. The other winger is a guy called Maxim Stupin. He was signed from Ilves, so came with the manager. The reason that's significant is because the finger has started just 1 game all season. Just 1 game for the finger. No games for Stavitsky. Arvid Lundberg has started some games. He wasn't at the beginning of the season. He's got 8 goals. Doing really well from his chances when he gets to play. Yakub is still getting game time, which is great. There's some players missing. There's no Slaymar. There's no Sutari. There's no Stavitsky. No Savalainen. No Enquist. Timo Stavitsky was sold for a value coming up to 500,000 euros to join Huesca, where he's not playing. He did play towards the end of the season. Not been playing much this season, which is a real shame. Our man, Timo Stavitsky. We've seen his attributes now, so we can't go for him there. Artie Martinen was sent out on loan, where he's kept 11 clean sheets in 22 games, only conceded 13 goals. Absolutely sensational. Oh, wait a second, is that for their reserve team? No, that's for the senior team. That's for the senior team. Crazy. Daniel Enquist has been loaned to Japs, where he's been average. Saku Savalainen's been loaned to Lahti, where he's just not playing. Slaymar has gone to Ajax. 1 million, that was the release clause agreed. His value has now shot up. He's got his first goal for Finland. He's not made it into the senior team yet. It's four games for young Ajax. 1 goal. Not necessarily making much of an impression yet, but with that value-wise, obviously they think that he's going to be okay. At least they're hoping he's going to be okay. Yeah, we'll see. He's only 20 still. But I do worry that he's going to end up finding himself not getting the job opportunities, the game opportunities that we are hoping for. And then Oni Satari was loaned out to KTP. He's played a couple of games, scored a couple of goals. Looks like they're on target to win the league. But the squad has been ripped apart. So Lukmar says, do you know that you can arrange multiple friendlies at once? I do. I'm just like, when you're kind of in a rhythm, there's certain things that you do the same way. I've just never really liked doing it the other way. So the Patrick Reitinen has unfortunately suffered a season-long injury in pre-season for the third year in a row. That's a shame. We had a gentleman on in the early parts of this series who was telling us that Reitinen was once heralded as being a player that people were expecting was going to make the step up, possibly be the next Sami Hupia, but injuries has kind of derailed his career since, unfortunately. So Zekka's Bazooka. Hello, Mr. Musterman. Can you give me the most similar player to Hulk that you can think of? Not off the top of my head, no. He was quite a unicorn of a player with that speed and that strength, that feistiness. I can't say that there's any player that immediately jumps out at me in terms of being that kind of player. So Ladislav, our massive fans called him the next Cruyff. Well, surely he's the next Littmanen. That's got to be the parallel, right? A young Finnish player. So yeah, let's see what the deal is with Lofgren. I assume he's still in the reserves. He is. He's currently down in the reserves. He's played barely any game time at all. He's always been he was on the fringes for us. He's on the fringes currently as well. There we go. He's still 20 as well. Be nice to... Like, we had him on the loan list for like a season and a half and no one ever came in for him. So maybe he's not quite what... Like, even if the Finnish teams are like, nah, we don't want him. Maybe that's not a good sign. Slaymar did it. He did indeed. Up the Slaymar. The next Jari Littmanen. Justice for the finger. I'm appalled. I'm appalled that the finger, that Fortuna isn't being utilised. It's crazy, like, considering how much of an impact both Fortuna and Stavitsky had. Seeing them ripped away is very, very, very disconcerting. But that happens. It happens. We haven't looked to see what's up with Olawale, actually. Because we didn't look at Olawale's stats, attributes even. He was scouted the 1st of January. Only scout, not an analyst. They reckon that as a right winger, he'd be the 8th best right winger in our squad back then, but we have moved some of them on since. As a striker, he would be worse than Fabio Torsiello, who we were very, very keen to get out the door. Might be worse than Dustin Forkel, who isn't even a striker at all. As a wing, we need wingback cover. What's the rules about registering players? Only players registered can play. Players can't play between that's fine. Players signed on free transfers can be registered at any time. There we go then. Ask the agent. We're going to say we're not that keen. We're going to play it cool. Emergency cover, $6,000 is a lot. Emergency backup. 2 years. We're going to drop that down to 9 months. After 10 games, I think that's reasonable, because if he gets to the point where he's actually contributed enough, that's okay by my reckoning. We're going to lowball him quite a bit, though, because it's not necessarily going to be... It is just wasting money. They've locked the contract, so that means that comes off. 10% is the most I ever offer on that. We just have an optional extension. I think it's just we choose whether we want to extend you or not. Down at 6k. You're testing me, Olawale. Right, I'm fine with that. But we're going to say less there. Please give him number 2. I mean, he's potentially would have been coming in as our backup right back, because we've got injuries there. We'll be going full circle. So it'd have to be number 2, right? It'd have to be number 2. But that fell through. We will. He's on our shortlist now, so we'll see if that resolves itself in due course. But yeah, there wasn't much wiggle room there. Why offer him a trial, Ladislav Massive fan? Like, if he's a player that we might not be able to sign, I don't necessarily want to waste those minutes when we're trying to get fitness for our other players in the upcoming games. So offer a week, start a 4-week trial. Sorry, no. Unless there's a reason, like, is there a good reason for it? Is there something that I'm missing out on here? But is it just so that he's in the squad? Kinda. Right. Olawale or equals promotion. Okay, it is just so that he's there in and around the squad. Fair enough. Does a trial reset contract negotiations? We'll see. Oh, right, okay. Whilst we're here, one of the transfers that didn't happen whilst we were in between was Travis Akoma. We agreed a contract with him to sign him on a free transfer, and as we agreed that contract, Chelsea extended him, triggered a contract extension. Then they transfer listed him, so we bid and he agreed on it, and then Ipswich came and pipped us to the post. Really, really annoying. We literally got agreement with him on a contract twice, and we got messed around. Disgraceful. So let's see what that does then. Transfer, offer trial. We'll do it for the period whilst there's no games. But there we go. There's a no. He's unhappy that we didn't agree terms. That's fair enough. You know, we've just had a negotiation that has broken down. Now he's turned us down. He doesn't like us. Doesn't like us anymore. We did sell him after all. I suppose that makes sense. I suppose that makes sense indeed. Right, we are going to play the friendlies, annoyingly, because I want to manage those. If I leave it to the assistant manager, never quite good in terms of the minute management that we want. So we're going to be playing it, and it's the Arn versus Darm game, the two stats. So Acomia just left in real life to Watford. Fair enough. Oscar Handler, welcome in, all the way from Turkey. I hope you're doing very well. It must be very late in Turkey now. How are you? Lovely to see you in. So yes, El Norby, it's Arnstadt versus Darmstadt, the battle of the stats. I mean, it's not the stats, but it is the stats. We have the Arnstadt and the Darmstadt. I'd like to claim that's why I chose them, but it was just because it sounded a bit like Darmstadt. If I'm being completely and utterly frank with you. Right. I think I'm going to call it there because one, I'm going to play the friendlies. Friendlies are quite dull. Two, I'm starting to feel that throat tickle, and rather than let it get worse, I'm going to try and be sensible by quitting whilst I'm ahead. So yeah, let's call it quits there, and then the same kind of deal as in mentioned earlier this week. If we get news about FM24 tomorrow, I will jump on at as soon as I possibly can. I'm trying to make sure that I'm available and flexible to react if we get any news. If not, I'll be back on Friday evening at 6 p.m. So I'd love to see you then if you can. That'd be great to have you by again. Same as usual on Twitch, on YouTube. Now, YouTube, we're going to say goodbye to you guys first, and then we're going to raid out over on Twitch. So thank you very, very much for coming along. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. It's been lovely to have you. Been lovely to chat. If you have enjoyed it, please consider, hitting that like button, maybe even subscribing. It